Hi there, welcome to the latest of the phone-in shows. And this one, we're going to be talking about protests in general, but concentrating on what's happening tomorrow in Glasgow. So, for those of you who maybe live in the moon and haven't heard about this, Glasgow has its first protest of this year. And, well, that's not true. We've had plenty of protests in Glasgow this year, but they tend to be the loopy left, you know, the goon platoon, all the crackpots. So this is the first one for normal people. And it'll take place at the Cannon Gallery steps, right in the heart of the city centre, with the fun kicking off at 1 p.m. So, Kev, are you looking forward to it?
Mate, aye. I've no doubt, as you say, the goon platoon will be out in force yet tomorrow. I hope some of them wake up tomorrow morning and realise what they're coming to counter against. So it'll be funny to. I mean, I just honestly, there's a couple of the speakers that tomorrow. I don't know if they've been advertised as yet, but anybody that's going to turn up to counter against them, man, really needs to give their head a shake. Good hard look in the mirror tomorrow morning before they decide to go and turn up at it. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. A wee bit disappointed that Dundee's decided to do a protest on the same day, which is taking away some of the Aberdeen people that might have made their way down. But hey ho, we'll keep going. It's good to know that there's some of your English friends are making their way up tomorrow. And obviously one of your friends from Northern Ireland.
Look. Yeah, look at that. There's Jaglis. We've converted it. She's on YouTube now. Hello, Jaglis. It's lovely to see you. Go and click the wee link and come into the studio and have a blether with me and Kev. And we'll just think we're back next Spaces. Sorry, mate.
I know it's all right, mate. So I'm hoping good turnout tomorrow. I did see quite a disturbing thing today with one of the people that are deciding to turn up tomorrow, and they were saying that face coverings are acceptable on their side. I'd like to say no.
Yeah.
Nobody turn up on our side tomorrow with face coverings on. It's not a good look.
Yeah, you had mentioned Dundee. There's Wendy saying that David Tarbett, that's the guy that I had on the podcast last week, he's been charged for leading the protest across the Kingsway. I don't know why that would be illegal, but he's maybe just not done it in the right manner with organising. And that's one of the problems when you turn a protest into a march. It's two different sets of rules. If you're going to have a march, an organised march, you kind of need to apply, I think it's 30 days before. And all sorts of stuff, so that's probably what's happened there. Sorry, Kev, I cut you off there.
No, it's all right, mate. Fill your boots. It's your show. You know what I mean? I'm only just talking away. It was just, as I say, I was guy. I'm not going to mention the names, but for anybody that is considering turning up tomorrow, the rule for face coverings is as such. We don't put face coverings on. So if anybody turns up tomorrow with a face covering on, you'll be asked to take it off. If you don't want to take it off, you can politely leave the arena, so to speak.
So there's Joanne Gibson saying, hi, Kev, the legend. See, on that, Kev, Joanne, sorry, just need to ask you, do you think Kev's changed?
Oh, no, again, man. Honestly, I'm getting this everywhere I go now, sir. Honestly, and see that boy that got, I think it was at 15 Seconds of Fame on STV. I think he's. I'm trying to remember his name because it was quite a fleeting thing. Was it Stephen Rennie?
Aye.
Was it right? Was it him? Aye.
I think so. I don't know. He was on half the screen quicker than I could read the title of who was talking, so I don't know. I think it was him. Right. Colin's asking what's tomorrow all about. It's about many things, Colin. There's lots of speakers talking about many topics. I'll be probably tackling my normal with the immigration issues that I see. There's going to be 2 or 3 speakers about that. There's going to be speakers about child protection teams. There's going to be a great speaker coming up from Manchester called Rachel. Her daughter unfortunately committed suicide after being a victim of grooming gangs. That'll be a very interesting, heart-warming story. We've got Vaccine Injured. We've got Guy for Justice. Just check the rest of the speakers. Missed any? Oh, there's a pastor coming. And by the way, this guy's great value. I've heard him speak before. And if all pastors and clergymen were as entertaining as this guy, the churches would be full. We've got an asylum seeker who spent the first 14 years of his life in a refugee camp waiting to get refuge because he was a genuine asylum seeker from the Congo when the civil war hit there. He's coming up and to tell his story and explain why he feels fake asylum affects people like him, because my microphone's not working. They're not working properly. Because it just puts people.
Oh no. Is that the microphone away again?
Hello?
Oh, there you go, that's better.
I need to keep my eye on this. I think it's running out of battery. I'm going to switch to another one. Hold on.
I'll keep this going while you're doing that now, but you're right. When you've got a lot of good speakers, that's better than when you go.
Right. So he's going to talk about, why fake asylum and things are not great for genuine asylum seekers and how they get affected by it. So, you'll be there. So getting speakers, and I'm really there's 2 speakers for Manchester, one for London, guy who's very active in Epping. So it'll be good to hear their things. And the whole thing is, it doesn't matter where about the country, kind of the concerns are the same. So that'll be kind of the point of the thing. That will be interesting.
Hi, it'll be good. What's this, Kev? I'm one of your biggest fans. You blocked me on X. I've no way. How have I blocked you on X?
Why don't you carry on with the show? I'll worry about the comments. Would you change?
Sorry.
You've changed. You've changed.
I've changed. Honestly, go and stop that now. Right? It's getting old. I had to laugh. When this flyer went out, I'm looking at this flyer and Glasgow Rises Unity Rally, September, and then enough's enough. And I had to laugh at the fact that I've now seen the Stand Up to Racism Scotland mob. I put a flyer saying that everybody must attend and make fascists scared to walk the streets again, or whatever it is they're trying to say. And I'm looking at that.
Right. The first mention of the thing went out, and within hours, Stand Up to Racism were calling for an anti-fascist counter-protest. And I'm like, you don't even know what the thing is. You don't know who's speaking, and you're already organising. And I kind of think it ties in with what I've been saying for a while now, that they just can't accept anybody else's legal right to protest. There's Scott Wilson, official, saying, I think I've managed to get some Geordie land to come up. Well, that's great, Scott, because just before we came on, Deb was talking about going down to Newcastle. I believe there's something happening down there next weekend, so that'll be good. Denzel's got his own stewards tomorrow.
What's that, sorry?
Denzel's got his own stewards tomorrow.
I've not got any stewards tomorrow.
Face coverings.
I seen the counter protest banner for Newcastle next week. Obviously, I've sent it on to yourself, but I think the amount of work that you've been doing in recent times, I think you do need to take a bit of time out and recharge. If I can make it down there, I'm going to make it down there. I'm hoping that, as I said to you before I come on, that gasket arrives, and if I can get the gasket done there, I can just drive down. I'd like to obviously go back up to Aberdeen and Peterhead as well, and I wouldn't mind going to one of the Dundee ones as well, because obviously they've just kind of started while the kind of protests have been getting a bit more in recent times. Do you know what I mean? So I would like to go up to Dundee and stand with the Dundonians on this one as well. So I'm just kind of hoping that, I know the kind of crappy weather's coming in and that protests might take a back seat, but I'm kind of hoping they don't. Was I just think it was like that time you went to that pro-UK rally, Craig, and you gave a great speech there that day, and even commented at the end that there'll come a point where they'll not even be in the same postcode. And then it just went quiet for months. Nothing happened. And if you lose that sort of momentum, or you take that sort of break in between, you sort of lose the momentum. And I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen this time. Do you know what I mean?
From memory, that was May last year. Which is over a year. But the idea is to have one as soon as the spring hits again in Glasgow. Try and have a big, real mega one. So Colin's asking about the live stream. I don't think so, Colleen. So just get yourself down. Kev, I'm one of your biggest fans. You blocked me. See, that's pretty rotten, mate. Wendy's a subscriber to my channel here as well. So just get it.
I'll sort that one out. Wendy, send your art handle, because I'll need to go and look at that, because I don't know why do you know, I looked at my block list the other night there, and I was like, man, who the fuck are these people? Sorry for swearing there. So who are these people?
Well, by the way, I'm actually, see folk that are proper shy, right? I'm even getting WhatsApp messages. Because I have to get to wee boysy.
Wee boysy.
I was saying I'm off for shy. I ain't bother. So, Kev's not changed. He has, so Joanne, he has changed. It's the same way. There was Joanne, we were up at Falkirk. Falkirk Wednesday night, Kev.
Aye, Wednesday night, aye.
And a journalist asked him 2 questions. And the poor guy was standing recording them for about 20 minutes. And the 2 questions he asked him was, what's your name and which age? Right? And he went half in one. And I'm standing at the other side of the road like that. He's hit a rant, isn't he? He's just, I can't hear him, right? Because he's at the other side of the road. And I'm like, he's hit a rant. Wendy, it's probably why Wendy's bald. She probably said that you've changed. And the reason for Kev changed, right? Kev had a video on if you're protesting in Edinburgh.
Come on, man, get a break, man.
All the way down to Epping, he's like, look at my video, it's at 200,000. Look at my video,
I never
it's
said that at all.
It ended up over 500,000, right? And he's doing an Epping. He's never grabbed a microphone in his life. And 2 minutes into Epping, I looked over my shoulder, and Kev's standing there with a big megaphone, giving it right? Loving life. So Kev's changed. So
right. So let's get the real version of this story. Obviously, you had messaged me the Saturday night after the Edinburgh one, right? And I was quite angry about the Edinburgh one, as you know. And you came up with a fantastic idea about going to Falkirk in the afternoon and then Epping at night. And which, as I said, plenty times before, I piggybacked onto the back of it, and I was grateful to the fact that you allowed me to come with you, right? Now, when we got down to Epping, right, you got a good welcome. And so, don't get me wrong, I got a good welcome as well, right? But the most people knew who you were. And as we were standing holding that banner, somebody had asked, I was holding up that sign for Falkirk about the guy that had been charged with the rape. And somebody had asked me the question. And when I was standing talking about it, a couple of cameras went on me for Mystic Media and some of the YouTubers. And obviously by that point, I had just lost the plot and decided to go on a complete and out rant, which I'm kind of well known for. So, and that's what I've done. As for Falkirk, the guy was for the iPaper, asked me if he could give me an interview, and he was talking about why I was there, or why did I go to these protests. And as I was explaining, he brought up the fact that there was a certain group that turned up to these things, and they was making quite a big deal of it. And I said, well, you got to remember that there's a number of people over there, and usually there's a good few hundred people over there. The people, the group that you're talking about, only turns up in small numbers, and they don't speak for everybody that's standing over there. I says, but if you're going to bring that people up, can I bring up the people like Antifa then, who turn up at every single protest? And not only do they turn up with face coverings on, they turn up with gloves on, they turn up with hoodies on. So I would go as far to say as they're just as extreme as the people that you're talking about. Because I'm just getting sick of people like us getting called all the names under the sun because we just want a safer country for people to live in. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Know what I mean? So I did have a bit of a rant with him.
God, that was nearly as long as the interview you took there to explain your interview. Malcolm, you think the 90s will seize the Buchanan steps? Possibly, but, you know, the organisers have done everything proper with the police and everything, so I would imagine the police will respect that. And Yvonne's asking if you got yourself a real bike now, Kev. Well, no, but at least you've not got a mobility scooter that we Jack, let's do us a favour. You're on YouTube, right? Go into the description. It says come into the studio, click the link. Come on up, give us a bit of your patter. You're always got a wise word to say. So, Kev.
Yes.
You're looking forward to tomorrow?
I think it'll be good tomorrow, mate. Good speakers. I know there's good people coming from all over the place, which is good as well. And I'd like to, I would say, extend my appreciation to the people that are making the effort to come up from England and more so for up the top end of Scotland as well to come down, because it's not a cheap business, this. I mean, that's what people think. I mean, people think it's just a case of, we could jump in a car or jump down there. I mean, I've seen what it costs you in diesel going up and down to Epping, do you know what I mean? And not just that, you had your hotel and that to pay for as well, do you know what I mean? So it's not a cheap business to be involved in when you're trying to be active. So fair play to anybody that's making the effort to come through distances. I'm hoping it'll be a good day. I'm hoping it'll go without a hitch. I'm certainly looking forward to a few of the speakers. Will you be addressing the good people on the other side tomorrow, Craig?
If they've turned up numbers to listen to me speak on the left, you know, the anti-racist mob, then of course I'll get to thank them for showing an appearance.
Oh, mate, cracks me up, man. It's so funny. It really is. It's brilliant, man. I just love the way you
go
at them.
Norrie's got used first. Norrie's got used plus blocking people on X and speaking more politely. Kev has changed. Norrie, he's even doing interviews with mainstream national journalists. He's proper catch.
Man, go and stop it, man. Right.
He needs to start about between 3 and 4. So that means we just need to cut the chase, get your speech done, 5 to 7 minutes, and done, and we can all be away before the rain starts.
What's this?
Just
to go back to that comment there, the only reason I speak more politely on this channel is because it's Craig's channel, and I know swearing doesn't go down too well on it, so that's why. Oh, come on, man. Right, this is getting out of hand with us, you change.
Stop reading ahead. Just stop it, right? Stop reading ahead. Damn it.
Right, okay.
1915 in the real times that you're 5 minutes ahead with the comments. Anyway, Candy's saying YouTube's not been the same without you guys. I don't think I've done a live in over a week.
I know, it's been a while. I've
not been in the house. I've not been here for most of the week because I was helping somebody do other stuff. Stevie's saying, Craig, your London Celtic fan interview must be close to that now. Maybe, I don't know. I checked it. It was doing really well on Twitter. That one, for those who don't know, I bumped into a guy with a Celtic strip and a Union Jack in London at the end of the London's march. And I was like, excuse me, mate, you all right if I video you? Because I thought it was brilliant. Videoed him. And then I said, look, you don't want to go and be interviewed on camera, do you? Think they would say, not a chance. And he was like, aye, go for it. I was like, you sure you're going to get absolute dogs abuse off certain people? And I was quite happy to do that. I've just realised this mic's not proper. It's not at all.
I'm sure that guy's on TikTok. I think he's something called like the bearded Christian or something.
See when big bearded Christian or something. See when I got home.
Aye.
Is that better, by the way?
You're right, a wee quiet there, mate.
Is that better?
It's a wee bit quiet. It was a wee bit quieter than what you were.
All right, I'll turn that up. Anyway, Gillian was like, aye, that guy, he was a guy. Remember there was a video of a guy in a Celtic strip hanging Union Jacks outside his house?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same guy. And then
I know.
since then I've seen another video that he done inside his house, and it was like 11:30 at night, and he's like, I'm heading off to London at 1 o'clock in the morning to get down here, and he was doing that before obviously he went. So absolutely magic. Oh,
I've
by the
seen him.
way, Kev, you're getting papped down to listeners.
Aye.
Hello, Jaggers.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, Jaglas.
Very well, as usual. How are you? Thanks very much for popping on, Jaggers.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh God, it was a bit of hit and miss pressing the buttons. I wasn't really sure what buttons to press. Oh, am I on the camera?
You can turn
You
it
can
on.
turn it off,
or on?
Jaglas.
I put the camera on because I've not got my makeup on.
Right,
My makeup
I don't know if I
on.
can or I can't. To be fair, you can't. I can't turn yours off. You can turn it off, but you're pitch black anyway, Jagless, so nobody can see
Okay,
you.
no, that's okay. I'll just leave it at that then. That's fine.
That's what people. That's what people are seeing, Jagless.
My hair's a mess. My hair's a
You
mess.
can't look. That's
I
what
don't like
people
these.
can see.
I
All we
don't
can
like
see
these
are glasses.
glasses.
I see. That's class. How are you?
I've not done my hair or anything like that, so I look a
Either
bit
of
disastrous.
our Jagless. Don't worry about it.
I'll take these glasses off because it looks a bit ET, doesn't it?
You take them off, nobody will see it. So, are you coming along tomorrow? Are you gracing us
Oh
with your
yeah,
pleasure?
I'm meeting Xavier's going down to Central tomorrow to meet the lady who's coming up from Liverpool to speak, Rachel.
Rachel, yeah.
So we're going to go and meet her at the train station, and then we'll just walk up just to show her where to go so she doesn't get lost. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to the corner at Sainsbury's to meet up a few people as well, just as a meeting point, for people that's coming. So I'll be hanging around about Sainsbury's about 12 o'clock. I thought that was a good position to meet people because it's between the two steps of stairs. Because if they hijack your spot, well, you're still, and you can still see the other spot where the other stairs are. So that was the idea of that.
Good.
So that's it. I've done a banner. I got an old pillow slip and a tin of paint, and I've made a wee banner, no digital ID. I just wanted to make something that was quick to write, And that, for me, that was a really difficult thing to decide because there's so many issues, that people want to bring. It was really hard to settle on a single issue, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's such a diverse range of things. So I've done a wee. That's me. I went with no digital ID, but I know everybody will have like a different range of issues that they want to bring. And for me, that's what it's about. It's about your free speech and getting it started so people feel they can go and talk about their issues. You know what I mean? Free speech. So
Scorpion's saying I'm wary of going tomorrow due to the mass stopping hysterical counter protesters. I wouldn't worry about you, pal, because the bark is far, far louder than the other bite. There's going to be stewards there, there's going to be police there, so I wouldn't be too worried. And if you're really worried, put one of them on, right? Because that gets you out of jail. I was away to court with this today.
No. That's maybe why you got the result you got.
What, sorry?
That's maybe why you got the result that you got then if you went with that
I never get any result, get a shite result. Anyway, I'm not talking about it. I can't talk about it.
Aye, exactly. Aye.
Other people can talk about it. I'm just not going to comment on it. But you know what happened today, and it's just a bit annoying, and we'll know any further forward.
Do you want me to share it, or do you want me just to leave it?
No, it's out in the public domain, mate. So if you want to tell folk that something's in the public domain, then you crack on. I'll not be joining in.
Aye, well, it's just a quick one for the people that aren't on X and maybe haven't seen it. It was postponed yet again, which am I allowed to give my opinion on this, or do you want?
Your opinion's doing it to you, mate. You're an adult.
Right. So my opinion is that just clearly shows that they've got absolutely nothing on you. and they're just going to make you sweat a bit longer, and possibly run this into next year, to kind of scupper your campaign for your run to Holyrood. That's just my opinion. But the fact that they've now postponed it twice in quite close proximity to each other kind of tells me they've got absolutely nothing on you, and they're just really trying to play for time now. So I'm absolutely gutted for you, mate, because I think this should have been put to bed a long time ago. I know after speaking to you today that how you were feeling with it, you going into too much detail because you don't obviously want to share too much, and I respect that. But aye, it's kind of poor, but it's just another example of they say we've got free speech in our country, and it's just an example. It's only got free speech if it applies to their narrative. If you speak out against their narrative and you providing the facts and the figures like you do every single time, it's not like you just throw out random 10-minute moans in the hope that they stick. I mean, you throw out 10-minute moans that you've actually done a lot of work in the background to make sure they're fact checked, etc., before you stick them out there. So it just goes to show you what we're kind of up against tomorrow. But hey ho, this is again, as we're going to turn up tomorrow, and as we are trying to express our opinions will be getting shut down by the comments of "Yous are nothing but racists, yous are nothing but fascists, you're nothing but Nazis." When in reality, if they actually had a wee kind of look at themselves, they would see it's them that's the fascists, they're the Nazis, because they're trying to curb our opinions and stop our free speech as well. So, aye, I'm kind of hoping, mate, that you'll get a bit of news in the next few weeks to say that it's been lobbed out, because I think that's what you deserve. I think you deserve no less than that. Because at the end of the day, they've got absolutely nothing on you. So that's what I'm going to say on the matter, mate. You know what I mean? We'll just get back to talking about the good things, which is tomorrow.
Yeah. The Scorpion's asking how many people. Obviously, it's a hard thing to do, but I think it'll be in 4 figures anyway. So that should be plenty.
Just another.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the man.
There he's there.
Bushy Beard Christian. Right. Do us a favour. You're on YouTube, Bushy. Do us a massive favour. Jump in, go into the description, and come into the studio if you don't mind, mate. We've got a wee blather with you, because that's the very man we were talking about. The Celtic man with his Union Jack on, and you've already got Kev here. So if you come in, that'll be 2v1 on the Rangers Celtic thing, because he's one of them. So
he's one of them. Get Stephen Rennie and Kane, and that'll be the trio.
Gang right
the whole
up,
trilogy.
Yeah, I'm a Celtic supporter as well.
Oh,
Jack, you get away.
I'm a Carrier for way back.
I see that. I'd get to jail for saying that.
How do you think I feel? The last time we went to one and standing amongst all those Union Jacks, it felt absolutely weird. It really did. It's a whole culture shock, because I've never ever been amongst a whole lot of Union Jacks before. So it's a whole different ball game now, isn't it? Really?
Do you know what I find, Jagler? See folk who maybe 5 years ago would have detested that thing being anywhere near them. They don't even bother now. They're just like, do you know what? We're on the one side with this one thing, so let's just get in about it. It's bigger than that.
At the last one, the strike one at Buchanan Street last time, I was waving a wee Union Jack, and I was like, I better watch in case somebody notices me.
There's Derek asking where's the meeting point. The on Buchanan Gallery steps, mate, which is on, that's Buchanan Street, that's on, it's just at the top here.
I've never been there for a protest before, so it's usually always George Square that they kind of famously get held there. It'll be something new tomorrow. But I'm certainly I just seen that comment coming up on the screen there. For God's sake. See what you started.
There's Scorpion getting a wee bit of advice there. Just hang about with people like Craig and people for this crowd, you'll be fine. I don't know, I've missed something there about Yvonne, so sorry, Yvonne, I've not seen that. Anyway, sorry, I just heard my wee beep.
Hope it's Bushy Beard.
It's Fat Bobby. How you doing, Fat Bobby?
Fat Bobby.
Hello, Mr. Houston. I see your I see Denzel's doing it again, giving you grief.
Oh, come on.
I said giving you grief. I didn't say you changed. I didn't say it was all about you.
Everybody thinks you've changed, Kev. There's another one.
Chicken lickings come in, mate.
I'm not doing these anymore. I'm done. I'm not even going to go into more protests. I'm going to go to the left now. I'll get more appreciation.
I'm 11 minutes behind. Bushy Christians said that as me. So I do it was him. Come on in, Bushy. Go on up to chat with you, buddy. See what your life's been like since you went nuclear, right? I'm thinking he probably. I tell you one thing. He's probably found a lot more pals in the Celtic side, saying that they're the same as him than the idiot comments I've seen. And there's another guy who does the protests up north. He's a pastor as well, and I didn't know. When I put the video out with Bushy, and there was some rockets in, he's never a Celtic man, all that. He came in and he went, I'm a Celtic man. I didn't know. I've seen him at a few protests. It just doesn't matter. You don't start talking to folk at protests and going, by the way, what fit do you kick with? What team do you support? Nobody cares. And I kind of want to know what sort of feedback Bushy's had. So if you're still on Bushy, go into the description on YouTube, click on the link. We'll get a wee blather, a wee catch up, see what life's been like since things got a bit.
Just a quickie. Has our Mr. Watt managed to get his hands on Nora Wolf's European Parliament talk when she was talking about how von der Leyen and company had all lied about the Pfizer vaccine? It's about an hour and 15 minutes.
Run that one again.
Woman called Nora Wolf, an American girl. No girl, but she was the one that fought to get all the Pfizer vaccine details out and took them to court when they said it'll take 75 years at 5 sheets a month or something. That and went, no, you got to give them out in 150,000 batches in a month, and she got 2,500 to 3,000 people, medical people, to go and vet it and have a look at it and see what they thought was in it. And our friend Bring the Noise, I don't know if he's read it yet, but he would be raging. The stuff that's come out of that is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. I'd done a podcast ages ago with a guy that got it was 3 different contracts from AstraZeneca. Sure, it was your contracts for 3 different places around the world in 3 different continents, and they were all the exact same. And they said they could not guarantee the safety or the efficacy of the vaccines. So if you think those 3 were identical, then you've got to imagine every country that signed a contract would have the same, because we've still never seen the UK ones. And then you think, our 2 governments told us that these were safe and effective, yet the contract told you we can't guarantee safety, we don't know the efficacy. So the charts, the documents, the biggest lies.
The charts and the scientific charts and documents that Pfizer put together, which they then had to hand out, they've got charts discussing the fact of, look at the impact it has on pregnant women. A lot of them are going to not have children anymore. And the fact that the children that were born of women who'd been vaccinated, the girls were going to have, that was fat deposits that we're talking about around their eggs, so they would be less likely to give birth to children. And the boys that had been involved in it all, when the women had given birth to the boys, their testosterone levels disappeared and their sperm mobility was 0. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's almost like somebody's putting all these different little things we've heard about historically that sounded crazy, the Great Replacement theory and all that, and now you look at it and go, so they put a vaccine out that basically was designed to stop us breeding. And that's the scary bit.
Aye, so, you know, you could argue it wasn't designed, it was an accident, all that. It doesn't matter. The end effect is, if that's what it's done, that's what it's done.
Right. Oh, no, I saw your chat about the FNP and Mr. Hitler earlier.
Aye, a belter, isn't it?
Well, I'd already known about that stuff.
Yeah.
Or something else that I'd been doing, I had to go and have a look and check a few bits and pieces. Because they were actually letters.
Did you see my video about the Rudy Cabana arrest?
Yes, that was quite kind of, really? No blood.
Bizarre, wasn't it? Aye.
But
290 minimums, 290 stabs, and he's not got a bit of blood up when he gets arrested.
Well, you have to ask the question, is that the man they were arresting? Was that a setup where they did that afterwards?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into a conspiracy, it didn't happen, right? Because that's a scary one. But I kind of think, well, why would you have that? And I kind of think maybe the original arrest was just too gruesome, that they couldn't put it out. And that man,
possible.
They don't tell you how many stabs every victim had, but there's a lot of them that's got like 92 stabs, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are described as horrific, so you don't know the number. But only adding up the number that they do tell you, you do commit to, it's over 290.
That's just the ones they tell you about.
Oh, here we go. Get a drum roll going. Bushy, bearded Christian, how the devil are you, my friend?
Hello, Craig. I'm absolutely fine, mate. How's you?
Absolutely great to hear from you, mate. How's your week been since last Saturday?
Interesting. I know. You see, be honest with you, the week's been fine. It's been fun. I've had lots of good comments, man. Lots of, I'd say 95% positive comments and 5% no so positive, Craig. Do you know that?
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying that just before you came up, that I would be interested to hear that, because that's kind of what I would think. You will get a lot more people saying good things about, you know, well done for Rangers fans, and some Celtic fans saying, look, mate, I'm just the same as you and whatever. And then you get nuggets. But you get nuggets if it was the other way around. If it was a guy in a Rangers strip and a Republic of Ireland flag, you'd get the same. Do you know what I mean? That just happens.
Absolutely. And see, to be honest with you, like I said to you in London, and I've seen you in Falkirk as well, there's a bigger picture out there. I'm quite willing to put my head above the parapet and take the dairy for it, because I want the people of Scotland to unite and put their differences aside, you know that. And if it takes for me to wear a Union Jack with my Celtic tab, then, you know, absolutely, I'm up for that. And I'll be in Glasgow tomorrow as well. So, you know.
Brilliant. I look forward to catching up with you then. So the when did you get home, by the way?
For London.
Aye.
We went to the pub after it finished, and then we get home, stayed in a hotel, and then get back up the road the next day. So it was fine. It was unbelievable. Do you know that? It was one of the best days of my life. It really was. It's hard to.
Amazing to be part of it, wasn't it?
Oh, Craig, you know, you were there. It's hard to put into words, and I'm pretty good at putting things into words usually. But the patriotism, the coming together. I was speaking to, you know, the English boys I was speaking to. They were so welcoming and appreciative that, you know, we came down for Scotland and we stood side by side. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. It was history in the making. It really was.
Do you know, it was interesting when I got up the road. I got an early flight Sunday morning, so I was up the road 9 o'clock or something. In fact, it was earlier than that. It was a 7 o'clock flight I got, so it was just after 8. And it wasn't right away, because I don't know when I eventually got to put the videos out. But it was my girlfriend, she's like, did you see the guy putting the flags up outside his house with the Celtic top on? I says, I seen that. She went, it's the same guy. I was like, no way, right? I didn't realise when I met you, because I'd seen that video and I never even thought to put two together. And then, funnily enough, yesterday or the day before, the video you done for the house before you left for London, I seen that probably Wednesday or Thursday. I thought, God, go on the biggin. I mean, fair play to you, mate.
So, well, I've got a question, Bushy.
Of course you can, mate.
Obviously, I'm a good Celtic man too. And I just wanted to ask you, what was the turning point for you on this as well?
The turning point for me is when you see the fact that they're telling us we can't raise our flag, we can't call ourselves Scottish, we can't call ourselves British, we can't speak freely online. Our kids, in regards to the housing crisis, you can't get an appointment at a GP at the moment. People are struggling. People are struggling to put food on the table. And I just thought, what's the best way to try and get people together and actually unite people who believe in different faiths and different football teams? And I thought that's the best way that you can do it. And the response has been tremendous for Celtic fans, for Rangers fans. You'll get your wallopers out there, absolutely, of course you are, that are quite narrow-minded, I think, and can't think of the bigger picture. But for me, the response has been tremendous for Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, and all over Europe, I have to say as well.
No, I mean, listen, mate, I had seen your video with when you were putting the saltire up and then putting the Union Jack up outside your house. And
I put it upside down because I've never touched a Union Jack before. I've never touched a Union Jack. I kept on getting comments saying you put it upside down. I went, oh, well, fair play. I've never touched a Union Jack.
But do you know what, mate? I mean, honestly, see when I seen Craig had obviously spoke to you down in London today, and I seen your TikTok the other day there as well. When you're standing in your house with the colours draped to yourself. And, it makes me proud to know people like yourself, because being a good Celtic man as well, I mean, my papa played for Celtic, and I've got Celtic ties, I've got ties to that club, and I get absolute dog's abuse because obviously anytime I stand next to a Union Jack or wave a Union Jack, you're getting accused of flying the butcher's apron and things like that. And they just don't, as you say, they don't see the bigger picture.
Listen, they really don't, mate. And that's what's annoying me, because, in this country, the now is absolutely horrendous. But in 5, 10, 15 years' time, they're not going to recognise it if people don't get up off their arse and get off their couch and whatever they're doing, put it aside and actually go and unite together and stand proud, and fight for our liberties, fight for our free speech. If they don't, they're going to lose the country. They're going to. It's unbelievable. And I'm not willing to let that happen from my point of view. And I'm seeing, the rallying call in regards to the videos that I'm putting out. I'm trying to rally people to come and put their head above the parapet and stand side by side, because it's the only way we're going to make a change. I've seen it.
I'm in the same opinion as yourself. I mean, obviously, I've spoke to Craig now for over a couple of years now. And, I only found out about Craig through one of my mates who's a Rangers man. But it's amazing the amount of respect you're getting for Rangers men, because you're saying, do you know what? I'm prepared to stand with you because I don't want this any longer. I want
with us.
Well, you're right.
Standing with us.
It's
standing
going
to watch a game.
Aye, you know what I mean.
One of the things a lot of people found funny, and I know Kev did, is when I've went, so to the end, they ask you an important question, did you hear the Rangers score? And you're like, no, and your face lit up, right? I'm like, that shite was desperate to hear the Rangers score. Thank fuck, right? My son had texted me about 5-10 minutes before I met you. He texted me at half time to tell me he scored and Shannon had scored, and then he texted me back. He says, that's him, get a brace, Dad. I don't know what to say. And then I met you, right? And I says, I've got an important question. You know the Rangers scored? And you went, no. And your face just went, I'm seeing I'm watching back. I was in stitches. And I'm like,
I know, you're always going to get a comment at the beginning. A Celtic fan, this. If you go back to the 2019 sleep out, I done the sleep out for Celtic. I'm on their video. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. As a Celtic fan. But this has got nothing to do with Celtic fan, Rangers fans. Yep. It really hasn't. Do you know that? This is to do with being Scottish, being British, and actually fighting for our children, our children's children, and trying to give them a future. Because, if we don't come together, the more and people are listening to this and watching this podcast, Craig, they need to fucking come up. They need to come out the more, and they need to stand shoulder to shoulders. All is put our differences aside.
Yep.
I've been a social worker for 25 years. I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen the changes. Do you know what I mean? I gave it up because it was just no my cup of tea anymore. But I've worked with kids for God so many 25, 26 years, and the impact that everything is having on our society and our culture at this moment in time is incredible, and it's not for the better.
Aye. So there's Connor for Falkirk. He runs all the protests at Falkirk. He's done a lot of work with this one in Glasgow as well. He's took a lot on his shoulders for that as well. So thanks very much for that, Connor. So how are you tonight, Connor, and what's happening in your world?
Not too bad at all, my friend. I'm just sitting about trying to set up last minute things for tomorrow morning, but as well as that for Sunday as well. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, though, mate.
Mm-hmm. Good.
What time's the Sunday kick off?
What's that, sorry?
So what time's the Sunday kick off, Connor?
Sunday's at 12 o'clock, mate, again.
Right, okay.
I think you'll be coming to that, Kev.
Well, I've got a visitor coming to stay so they can attend tomorrow's rally. So I might be a wee bit late, but I will be doing it, aye.
Yep. No, that'll be good to see you there. I've seen you speaking at that last one, mate.
No, I just felt that the people of Falkirk need to know that they're doing a great job.
Aye, that's it. It's appreciated, that, mate.
Connor,
I think everybody that's linking themselves to anything to do with this, and they're actually having a set of balls to step up and say what they're feeling, is doing a good job in itself, eh?
See, if Connor stand up and be counted, saying I will be there for sure with the Falkirk Pink Ladies. I have been fuming all day at what was reported in the Falkirk Herald today. What happened there, mate?
So I don't know. I don't know exactly what she's talking about. It might potentially be in relation to the proposed meeting. We had a meeting in place that I think we spoke about that the other night when I seen you.
Yes.
It was set up that, well, basically the Labour MP of Falkirk came to us and said on Monday, listen, you're invited to an engagement forum. It's Friday night. But obviously I've had that much on this week to be able to go to that at short notice. I said let's arrange for Tuesday or Wednesday next week at any time, and we can be properly represented and everything can be prepared and enough time for it to basically for it to go well, and us to express our feelings and the feelings of the Falkirk community. Now, basically, they've invited a lot of other groups and stuff as well to that, and the way it's went is the MP didn't even email me back until later this afternoon, and they went ahead with the meeting without us even being present, which a lot of the people in Falkirk are quite pissed off with, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. That's a bit shit, isn't it?
It's absolutely terrible, especially when we're the main group raising these concerns, and they're taking on board tonight at that meeting a lot of the other people that have got different views, and views against us, calling us racist and far right, and they've been able to go to that meeting tonight and share their side of it, and there's nobody there representing us at all. It should have been cancelled and rescheduled. I shouted for it to be presented to the public, and I wanted to have a kind of a forum that was based on a live link, so everybody could see exactly what was being discussed, and that was knocked back as well. So we can see what way that's going anyway.
Right, there's a couple of people mentioning the same thing in the comments here that something's happened with Tommy trying to go and get himself a wee holiday. So I'm just going to pull up his Twitter feed. Give me a second until that comes up.
Everybody on board for Saturday for tomorrow then, aye? Everybody's ready for this?
Yes.
Everybody's busting.
Absolutely.
Everybody's ready.
Good. I'm really looking forward to it myself. So
Right,
first,
sorry,
Craig, on you go, pal.
Go on, Connor. You finish off and then I'll go to Tommy's thing.
No, I was basically just saying I was looking forward to tomorrow, mate. it's going to be a good day. It's the first big kind of, I know the one at Falkirk that I done on the 16th, there was around about 1,000 people attending on our side, but I'm hoping that them figures are going to be multiplied tomorrow in Glasgow. There's a lot of concern in relation to the immigration system in Glasgow, so I'm hoping there's a lot of people in Glasgow going to stand up with us tomorrow in unity regarding all the different things that are going to be raised tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand up, but I might need armed guards.
Tommy's, guys, I just want to go through this a minute. Tommy's put up here, so foreigners huge United Kingdom rally and actually tired and thought I'd go for a quick break, yet I've been deported from 2 countries in the last 24 hours. Forget this, being a threat to national security and citizen coexistence.
So, let me tell you what my days consisted of. I needed a break, right? Just needed to have a break from everything. So, but where can I have a break? I know, South America. Why South America? Because no one really know me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so low chance of any grief. So I looked, I found this place. You fly to Bogota, you go to these little islands. So I go to those islands, you have a real relaxing time. Just a total chill time. Landed at Bogota, and what do you think happened? Detained, threat to national security, deported. Spent all day in a detention centre, at which point I said, I'm waiting for a deportation back to the UK. So I said, can I not just book a flight somewhere else? And they said, yeah. So I booked a flight to Panama. Landed in Panama. What do you think happened? Detained, being deported. Sat here now 6 hours. I spent the last 24 hours of my time on a plane and sat in rooms. Threat to national security. So Colombia, the country that exports what? Beautiful women and narcos. That's it. Deems me because of my political beliefs. There's no other reason due to my political beliefs. Now, some of you may remember this happened in Mexico 2 years ago when I landed with my children. But Mexico, I got the recordings of their agents telling me that the British had told them not to let me in. And I needed this little break again, man. But here I am, sat currently in Panama's detention room, awaiting. It's better than Bogota's one. Just a couple of people here. I went and bought more pizza because they let me get food. So I come down with pizza. My man's got some chicken and chips over there. 6 hours I've got till I'm on the deportation flight. Hope you're all having a nice little relaxed time, yeah?
That's bonkers, isn't it?
What do you want to do in your family? Where are you from? Where are you from?
No.
Where? Only.
No, unbelievable.
I don't have Wi-Fi. You can use this. Do you want to ring your family? Phone. You want to make a phone call? What do you want to do? Ring your family. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where? Only. So, I don't have Wi-Fi. You can use this. Do you want to ring your family? Phone. You want to make a phone call? What do you want to do? Ring your family. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Well, that's in Spanish. We'll be having much reading of that. That's bonkers, isn't it? Absolutely mental. Imagine being him.
Absolutely madness, to be honest with you, mate. So I'm on my way down to the Claddon now, mate. I'm on my way down to the Claddon right now. I'm going to meet up with some guys that are going to do some stewarding for us tomorrow morning. So I'm heading down to meet up with them, get everything set up, and then I think we're kind of good to go for tomorrow.
Brilliant. Well, you've been busy, boy, over the last probably couple of weeks with Connor, and it's no went unnoticed. So thank you very much for all the graft you've put in. It's been absolutely great, man.
And yourself, mate, definitely. Yeah. With everything that you've had going on as well, with court and stuff like that, you're still doing what you're doing, mate. That's what it's all about, eh?
Mm-hmm. Right, guys, I need you to do us a favour. I'm going to put a message up on the board, and you want to vote whether I pop him or keep him, right? So I'll put the message up. If you think keep him, press the button 1. And if you think Papal, press button 2. There's a comment. It's not a Rangers rally, right? Unbelievable.
There's the buttons.
I'm going to take the I'm sitting on the fence stance on this one.
Do you know, see the one in Glasgow last year? I was speaking at it, and as it was filling up before it started, Basil was doing a live space, and he was talking about it. So I went onto his live space just to tell people what was going on. And if you walked out George Square at the time, they had these wee flower beds with a little cement thing, I don't know, concrete, maybe a foot high. And I was standing on that, talking to them and looking over, getting an idea of the crowd, blah, blah, blah. And this lassie went on a bike, she was pushing her bike, she was walking beside her. And she says to this copper, 3 feet away from me, she said, "Excuse me, where are that to go?" And he went, "Well, by the looks of you, you're being the other crowd up there, or you just go round the side, because in there it's the Rangers lot." Right? And I'd just been talking to Hibs and Celtic fans inside George Square an hour bit. And I jumped off the bus. I hear you. What are you talking about? So what do you mean? I says, I heard you there telling that lassie that's the Rangers lot in there. It's just got nothing to do with football. There's people in there that I've been speaking to that are the Rangers fans. I'm a Rangers fan. I'll never hide for that. But it's nothing to do with it. It's a political
It's bigger
thing.
than football. It's bigger than anything, mate.
But if that's what that always said,
what was your famous line though, Craig?
What?
What was your famous line there that day?
I don't know.
Right, I've just arrived at the cladding, guys, so I'm going to jump off, but I'll jump back on again in 15 minutes if you're still on,
No worries, pal. No worries, mate.
Right, see you soon, guys.
See you, Connor.
Guinness for me.
See you later on, lads.
Right, buddy.
You don't remember your famous line that day?
No.
If I'm a racist, you're a crackpot.
Oh, so it is. You liked that one, didn't you? I forgot that. Right. Anyway, I've got Doug's adding to the. There you go. Kev's changed.
Oh, for God's sake, man.
There's Alistair saying that's nothing to do with football. Similarity, it has nothing to do with foreign conflicts. Similarly, that was Alistair's event last year that we were at. You know what I mean? And he's got the cops describing his event as that Rangers thing. It's pretty mental.
Right, boys, I'm going to head off now. Thanks for letting us on, Craig. Appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who's making the effort. Yes.
How will I recognise you tomorrow?
Have you seen my videos?
Aye. Will you say like tapping a Union Jack?
Yep.
Right, I'll tell you one thing. That's brave. Right, we're Glasgow now, remember. We're not in London.
I'm a brave guy.
Absolutely.
You need to be brave.
Mate.
You need to be brave, Craig.
Mate. Well, you're brave. You're doing good work, mate.
I recognise him with the 2-inch shroud where we are.
Aye, you'll probably recognise with the nails in the hands and the legs. To be fair.
You'll maybe crucify you tomorrow if they get a hold of you. But Russell Martin. You could maybe end up with Russell Martin's job before the week's out, big guy.
Hey, listen, take care. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Take care, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it.
All the best.
Brilliant. Middle of Glasgow. Fuck it.
Man.
Celtic tap on Union Jack.
I was scared to ask him if he's wearing the Celtic strip and his Union Jack tomorrow in case I put ideas in his head, but he's gone for it big style, isn't he? That's proper brave. I couldn't ever condone that sort of stuff. That's just braver man than me. I don't even know if I'd do that for a bet. There's Jean. No, Jean, it's not George Square's shut. It's at Buchanan Galleries. There you go. The steps in Buchanan Galleries, darling. Because George Square's done for redevelopment or changing it all.
So what lies are you expecting there?
Oh, loads. Do you think these rallies and protests are going to make any difference? Yes, I do stand up, and I'll tell you why. Epping made a difference to theirs. Women Won't Waste made a massive difference to their campaigns, and even the good people of Falkirk have now got the town council willing to even talk to them and listen to them. Now, they might be asking you about, but you're still getting progress, and that's all it is. So yes, I do So
you do nothing, you'll get nothing.
100%. If you do nothing, you're guaranteed you'll get nothing back. So doing something's got to be better. So there we go. We've got Stephen in. How are you tonight, Stephen?
Oh, didn't even notice I was on her.
Oh, there he
bad
is.
like you saying.
Is that guy for the STV?
No, listen, listen, yeah. See, whoever it was that gave me a poncho for my daughter in London that watches this show, thank you very much. I didn't get your name. Sorry.
And did they save your life?
Aye, well, you know yourself, it was torrential down there, and my daughter was only wearing a t-shirt, so.
But could you not afford to buy her more clothes after your appearance on STV, no?
No, they've not paid me yet.
They don't pay you for that, no?
No. Well, we'll go 50-50 on your meet and greet. Sam on Saturday.
Aye, all right, you're
Stephen, I watched Kev give a guy for iNews or iPaper or whatever it's called an interview on Wednesday. The interview must have lasted about half an hour and ended up with 2 sentences in the paper. You done that, any? For those who don't know, Stephen done about a 45-minute piece with STV last week, the week before, and they whittled it down to about 5.5 seconds after him getting every friend and every family member he knew to watch STV News at 6 o'clock, and ended up 5 seconds. So that's what
everybody. I told everybody, everybody on Facebook, everybody on X, tune in 6 o'clock STV News. Boom, blink and miss it.
Right, so what's your name, Stephen? That's the end of that one.
Sorry, the TikTok, your version got about, the last time I checked, I think it was at 12,000 views. That was the same, when I looked at it, it was the same night that it was supposed to be put out, so at least we got some viewers. You've changed.
No, you've changed, man. Imagine looking at your ratings, man, for your STV cameo appearance. I mean, but you're battering out numbers there. Oh, well, I got 12,000 views on that one.
It's not 500,000, Kev. It's not 500,000.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I think Big Hoosty done a belter with the bushy beard, because I'll tell you, the minute he put that one up, that went absolutely bonkers.
Well, last time I seen it, it was about 2 days after, and it was at like 340,000 views. God knows how much the insights were on it. Like,
that's good going. Like that one went mental.
That's his big. You notice his biggest video was with a guy with a Celtic tap.
It's actually not. I think my biggest video on YouTube was a machete attack in East Kilbride, and I think the reason I got it. It was just as Keir Starmer was starting to get hated by everybody, and I put his face in the front of it, and a wee scene behind it, but it's machete attack had happened, and wrote something about Starmer has to get a hand on knife crime or something, and that went into on the YouTube. That's probably.
Do you know why I used to think it was funny with your 10-minute moans? Though, was when you were kind of just doing like 2-3 a day, and you put Elon Musk and Hamza Yusuf as a background.
I was looking the other day. I think I've done something like 1,300 videos.
Wow!
I can't. Aye, but I was battling out 3 a day. See, since I've got arrested, man, I don't know. I've just not get the drive, because I keep thinking, Christ, if I say that, I might get because of my bail conditions and stuff like that. So, aye.
Well, I mean,
curtailed me a bit. I need to get back to. I done 2 the day, and I kind of need to get up to the 3 again.
Well, I just wanted to. I want to say something to you publicly. I stayed in a space on Monday night when I was in Null space and that, and I think I said it to you on the phone, and I think people need to hear this. I mean, some of the work that you do, right, and all the kind of boots on the ground and all that stuff, turning up at protests, and people always going about the sectarian divide up here, and it's never really been bridged too much. Nobody's really kind of been able to kind of cross that division. But you know, son, And the time that I've known you and watching the amount of Celtic supporters and Celtic men that actually follow you and actually go with you to places and that day, it goes to show you that you are somehow being a part of pulling that divide together. And I know you might disagree with that, but it's true. I mean, because at the end of the day, you give everybody a platform.
Well, I said early doors, right? See, because of my past, see if you put Craig Houston Rangers into Vigo, you'll see 1,000 things about Craig Houston the Rangers fan, right? So I was never, not that I would do it anyway, but a lot of people in politics and in like entertainment and stuff, they suddenly become, oh, I'm a Partick Thistle fan or I'm a St Mirren fan and whatever, all that nonsense. And I thought, I don't care. I couldn't hide it even if I wanted to hide the fact that I'm a Rangers fan, because Google's there. And so I thought, just embrace it. And as long as you decide that it's not going to define you, the football team that you support is not going to define your future, then it's kind of it. So I don't care. I wear my heart on my sleeve and say, folk, I'm a Rangers fan. So get on with it. If that's going to stop you listening,
never define your future, but break your bloody heart.
100%, aye. Break your future with your bank balance stuff. But do you know what I mean? I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to hide it. If I get into Holyrood and the most vocal Rangers supporter ever to get into Holyrood, I don't care, because it's just part of me. You know, it's like saying I've got 2 kids. Do you know, it's just that's it. And I've just been like that from the minute I started doing the political stuff. And I kind of think a lot of Celtic fans just respect that. They're like, there's big Craig, I suppose. And what? Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying, though. You're still managing to, unknowingly, you're still managing to bring two sides of people that really shouldn't get along. You've actually started bringing them together, and more people are coming here because
I don't think I or anybody else can take credit for that, Kev. I think it's just circumstance.
Well, maybe you're noble. Do you know what, Craig? I'll give you the credit for it then, because I've never really seen it. There's always been that us and them divide. But in the last 2 years, watching you growing and your platform growing, and you make the effort to turn up at rallies, you take the time to speak to normal people on the ground, you take the time to stand up and do speeches off the cuff. Do you know what I mean? And you really, what you're saying to people is, if you give me your support in 2026, I'll be your voice in Holyrood. I mean, how many times have you spoke about that big red button? That we're assuming it's red, and you've made that solemn promise. By the time that term's finished, that'll no longer be red; it'll be pink. Do you know what I mean? So, with the way your language is when you're talking to people, you can see that that divide is no longer there when it comes to yourself. And you might not want to hear it, but you need to take some credit for that, Biggin.
Well, I don't think there is. I think it's the circumstances more than any individual. But what I will say is, I heard a guy called James Dornan say publicly that there was certain people in his community and his constituency that he refused to represent in Holyrood. That is one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. Because you're not to represent you when you go to Holyrood. It's to represent the people in your constituency, not even just the ones that voted for you. Every single one of them. I mean, you hear somebody saying that and actually being allowed to say it and getting away with saying it. That makes me cringe. That makes me really, embarrassed to be.
Isn't that the standard for Holyrood now, Craig? Because they're not supporting the white folk.
Well,
they're supporting everybody else but the white folk. Oh, were you born in Scotland? We're not talking about you then.
Right.
I would love to see him say that when I was the room, because honestly, I'd just lose the plot. I would just absolutely lose the plot. There's Peter saying, love the STP war. I put that down at the conference, and I was needing a notepad and a pen, so I got busy. And by the way, while I was in London, you might notice I've got the Help for Heroes and the Help for Heroes lovely badge. I might wear that tomorrow. A wee guy, when I was interviewing the big mad Celtic fan, just after I finished, this guy popped out the crowd and he went, Craig, I love your channel, can you take this? And he had loads of them in his hand. And I went, what is it? Oh, Help for Heroes, I've not one of them for ages. And I said, so much can I give you? He's like, no, you take it. So I promised him that I'll next time I pass a Help for Heroes collection tin, I'll put a couple of pound on it for him. There's one, so I've got one of these back on. The last one I had snapped. I'll have that on to look for as well. I'll maybe have my new Help for Heroes lapel badge. Maybe stick that on tomorrow. Maybe stick it in Kev's forehead tomorrow. Anyway, Pete, love to see you, buddy. Nice to see you, mate. So, looking forward to tomorrow, Stevie.
Aye, can't wait. We were just double checking, making sure everybody's ready. We're leaving 7:30 sharp. We'll get done. My daughter's actually bailed on me. So, aye. Well,
you're not famous enough.
Well, the missus is working in the morning. She was got to come down. They were got to drive down with somebody else, and I was got to jump in the bus with the rest of the guys. But so she's working tomorrow, so I said, well, it's fine. She'll come down in the bus with us. And tonight she's just informed me that she's not coming. She's going away
she's parked as well.
Play with her cousin. It's like, right, okay. So.
Fair play. Well, that's you get a free curd to get drunk then, but don't get drunk till after the event if you don't mind. You get drunk on the way home. Listen, a lot of people have been mentioned here. O'Cragan had Baraka Amuri on his channel as a guest a few months ago. I think you'd like him. It's a good sense of humour. He's actually talking tomorrow. He's coming up from Manchester. He's a young kid that I speak about a lot in my protests. He's a kid that was born into a refugee camp after his parents had to flee Congo, the Civil War. It was practically on their doorstep. They ran for their lives. They were in the camp for 3 years, and then young Baraka came along, and I think he's about 22, 23 now, and he spent the first 14 years of his life in a refugee camp. And I tell his story often because I say, even if you accept that being able to give asylum to some people in certain circumstances is a good thing, what you have to accept is people like Baraka are spending 14 years of their life in these places while others are just jumping the queue who aren't asylum seekers and are jumping in a dinghy and getting 4-star hotels and all the meals paid. I'm sure his mum and dad and the rest of his family would have gave body parts to have been treated like that, and not enough to spend in his parents' case and his older siblings' case 17 years in a concentration camp, but forgive me, in a refugee camp. So he's coming up to tell his story, and what a bright, good kid. And as I say, I've told that story almost every time I stand up and I'm given a mic to ask my opinions on the asylum crisis. And it would be great to see hear him say the story. And I only became aware of it when he was on as a guest. I don't even know how we got in touch with each other. I can't just remember. But aye, great kid.
Well, that's the thing though, the more right, as you say, Craig, I mean, there you've got Baraka coming up to do this, you've got Rachel, you've got Alec for Spartan talking, and yet there's going to be people there counting protesting. I just, every time I hear these names that are speaking tomorrow, I just think to myself, if anybody on the left is listening to this live stream tonight, see before you turn up tomorrow, just have a good long hard look at yourself in the mirror and think to yourself, am I really doing the right thing here today by turning up to counter-protest against this? Because it just makes absolutely no sense to me at all. None whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? So,
Truth Finder's asking if I'll be live streaming. I won't be live streaming, unfortunately, due to nobody else standing up to do it. I'm doing compare duties tomorrow, so I'll be at the stage or on the stage throughout, so it'd be completely impossible to do a live stream tomorrow.
Craig, I don't know if I'm allowed to advertise it, but our guy will be live streaming it, like.
Oh God, aye, brilliant. What channel and where can folk watch it?
Aye, so it's Mr. Buckfast on TikTok. There we go. Get him followed. He was in the chat earlier on.
Mr. Buckfast, he's a legend, man.
Brilliant, man.
He was in the chat earlier on, Stephen Mitchell, when I first came in.
I got to see Scottish Grandma in Falkirk the other night there too. Got to meet up with her.
Over when you're interviewed. What was it she was shouting at you?
Oh, I was standing to get an interview, and obviously big rocket heat here decided to tell her what to shout, and the next minute I heard out of the loudspeaker was, "Kev, you've changed." And I thought, "Oh, away you go, man." I was like, "Oh, come on."
But you're famous.
It's not. No, I'm no Bobby.
As Alistair saying, there's multiple people like Baraka in this world. They can't all live here. 100% agree with you, mate. But Britain is not the only place that's getting filled with fake asylum seekers. And if the fake asylum seekers didn't exist, then it would be far easier if everybody took their small number of genuine asylum seekers, because there is a big difference. There's a laugh. Edward Craig, you should be Prime Minister. Go for it, pal. Me and many people I know would vote for you. Aye. I'd probably be lucky to win a constituency seat in the first past the post situation. So,
oh mate, that would be funny. Imagine, I'd love. I'm just seeing that comment there, right? You as Prime Minister, I would love to see who you would have run about as your cabinet. That would be an absolute belter. Come on, rhyme your cabinet off.
That's Denzel. That's Denzel looking for a job.
No, it's
not. Head of transport, Denzel. The scooter. No, I think right. I've got a top QC. KC's there now. Tommy Ross, who's due to retire. I think soon. He's done his years in that game, and he would be great for justice. I think who I know that's good at. I do know somebody quite high up in the banking industry, but they would hate me if I'd said their name because they are actually well known. So I better keep that one shut. But that would be a female.
As long as it's no Robbie Diamond.
No. What other jobs do we need? Transport, right? I would phone Sandy Easdale, right? Because he's ran McGill's buses for years, right? And tried to put me in jail soon for 200 grand back in the day. That would be a laugh, right? But I actually got on all right with him. I bumped into him since we hated each other. A couple of times, last time, particularly at Glasgow Airport. That was quite funny. Maybe ask him, do you fancy the job as a transport minister? What else do we need? Home Secretary. Somebody that just absolutely hates fake asylum seekers, right? So there's like a million who could get that job. Henry Bilton, who is in the SDP as Foreign Secretary and Defence. Again, both of that. He's worked in diplomatic services and the military, so he would be good for that. So I kind of think I could get a cabinet together just off the folk in my phone book. You know what I mean? Better than what we've had to now or had for a year.
It was probably you could most probably fill the benches be better than what we've got to now. Never mind a cabinet.
Aye, that would be some laugh, wouldn't it?
Aye.
I'm just looking forward to see. There's a thing, right? It's either 3 or 5. I'll need to look into it before the election period gets in. But in Holyrood, it's either 3 or 5 MSPs you need to get for your party. And it guarantees you a question every week at First Minister's Questions, right? So if we get 5 in or 3 in, whatever the number is, SDP candidates, and I'm the leader of the SDP, every week I get to ask a question, right? The presiding officer would be in meltdown. Excuse me, First Minister. Aye, you're off, you're not, right? Going to clap it, right? You're absolutely red rotten at this game. Your budget was a farce. Have you ever considered just resigning in shame? Right? I would just... So whatever we do, right, see when we get the candidates up, right, we want everybody in Glasgow to vote back the SDP on the second ballot, so that's I'll hopefully get in. And we just need everybody else in Scotland to vote in the SDP this night, so we can get 4 or 5 SDP in, and then it would just be a proper I'm not saying it's serious stuff, but you know what I'm saying. I guaranteed something. I said, see if we pull this off right, we get enough in to get First Minister's Question every week. Folk that don't like politics would watch First Minister's Questions on a Thursday. They'd be like, right, get a kettle on. The big one's up in 10 minutes, right? We get third question this week, right? You see the state of this? But see if you've done something good, I'd be the first to say well done. Do you know what I mean?
I think it'd be hilarious, man. I mean, if you get into Holyrood, which I'm pretty confident you will. I'm going to be in the public gallery the first time questions is I want to hear you just watch you hit that button. No, that's not what you asked you. No,
Kev,
answer the question.
Remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they had an emergency. Oh, God. That emergency
Is that the one with
debate.
Patrick Harvey?
Patrick Harvey. We need to discuss where the transvestites are getting to do the toilet. Right? What? Right? And it turned out that like 2 years ago, the people that run the building, the management team, had set aside a single occupancy toilet, or sorry, 2 single occupancy toilets, I think it was, in one changing area. So anybody that didn't want to go into the men's or the women's, or like lie to go into the men's or the women's, would be able to just use these things. So they'd already done it. And then it was totally against the findings at the Supreme Court when the women won against right. And there's a week, 2 weeks after that, debating this pish. Imagine if I'm in there at that point. Alex, what? You're a crank. Right, sit down. It's been done. You're not getting in. You're right. He'd be like, what are you doing? Right? Just honestly, sit. No, today. See when you retire from here, get a fishing rod and sit in somebody's garden and be a gnome, because that's probably all you're good at, right? Watch the world go by, you absolute crank. Anyway, somebody was saying, is there anyone running Motherwell and SDP? I hope so, mate. That would be, I can't remember what region that is that West Scotland, whatever it is. So we'll be putting to our members very soon to see who wants to stand as candidates, and we'll list up. So if you're in our SDP, and somebody asked me, was it? Sorry, but who's SDP? SDP are the Social Democratic Party, who's at Stand Up and Be Counted. They were a big thing in the 80s. And there's a guy random called Lord David, he's now Lord David Owen. I met him a couple of months ago down in London at a thing I was talking at. And at the time, right, this is bonkers story, they were the Reform Party of the 80s, and what I mean by that, they were polling about 30%. So if there was an election that day, they'd have won it hands down, he'd have been the next Prime Minister. What happened next was, the RGs decided to invade the Falkland Islands, right? And we smashed them. But what that done was, that put Maggie Thatcher's stock value back up, had an election after the Falklands, and that was kind of the SDP sort of just fell away after that. And they get resurrected a few years ago. Not resurrected, they were still there. They didn't have a lot of members, and they've got quite a lot. You know about Yorkshire, Humberside, all that sort of area, a lot of councillors and stuff. So their hope is, if I can get into Holyrood with a few members as MSPs, I'll give their party as well a whole party a bit of lift. So that's who we are, Stand Up. And there's actually, I actually need to do this more. There's a wee banner. Aye, that along the bottom, let Scotland work, go to sdbp.org.uk and you'll read all the policies. And I keep saying to people, folks say, well, how do I join it? Well, what you do is, and Jason, that's not true. Some of them did. That's how there was still an SDP in the pro, and they became the Liberals became the Liberal Democrats because some of them left, but the crux of them stayed, and that's how the thing survived. It was never in the bin. And some people say, well, how do I join SDP? And even folk that I know quite well, I say, don't just join it because, for me, go on, have a look at the policies and make sure you agree with the policies, like I did. And then, if you want to, you join it. It's as simple as that. And we will be looking for candidates. For the next few months, we'll start talking to the members and asking if any of them have got ambitions to stand for election, and then we get cracking. So, sorry about that. I'm going to be a bit funny about doing part of political broadcasts, but...
Well, just on that as well, though, Craig, obviously, once you start to get cracking, it'd be worth mentioning at this point to any of the members as well that aren't going to stand or haven't got the capability to stand. There's still options there to help as well with leaflet drops, canvassing, etc. as well, just getting out there and putting boots on the ground and getting the name of the SDP or the candidate that'll be in your area known. Because as you say, it's all about making sure that we get... I mean, we're under no illusion. I mean, I'm saying we are because obviously I'm a member of the SDP, but we're under no illusion that there's not going to be a majority SDP. But what we are looking for is people that have got voices and that are prepared to stand up and give us a voice in that building, other than the nonsense that we've been getting fed for the last God knows how long. Know what I mean? So
I need to tell you a funny story. Neil's put down David Owen as a great man. Always did a lot of time for him, right? So I was quite humbled to meet him. So the way, this has only happened to me, right? I'm in this. I was going down to talk at the London School of Economics in this political debate, right? And it's just full of people that are right into politics rather than me. I still consider myself normal, even though I'm in the weirdo gang, as I call us now. So we're the weirdos. The majority of people don't bother about politics. We're the weirdos, right? I said that at our conference, and some folk laughed at me. But anyway, I'm in this green room waiting to get brought onto stage, and the crowd's filling up. There's about 500 people there. And I nicked out to get a puff of my vape. So I nicked out the green room. In the meantime, David Owen's been brought into the green room. He was talking at the event, and he got introduced to everybody. So I comes in 5 minutes later, and I walks in, and there's David Owen standing. There's somebody sitting in a chair. And I went, that's David Owen. And somebody's like, have you met David before, Craig? I know, I've had the pleasure. So I'm going to introduce you. He's like, David, this is Craig. He's currently the acting chair of the Scottish branch, and he's hopefully going to be the leader in Scotland going forward. Craig, this is Lord Owen. He says, how are you doing, sir? Very pleased to meet you. He says, and I've met a few sirs before, so I do apologise if I've used the wrong title there, but what should I call you? He says, David will be fine. I said, okay, Sir David. Lord David, thanks very much. I said, by the way, I've ticked 2 boxes in the one night here. So what do you mean? I said, well, as I say, I've met a few sirs before, but I've never met a lord, knowingly met a lord. I ended up met 2 that one night. Anyway, I said, so you're the very first lord that I've met. And he went, what was the second thing? I said, you're the first guy that I've ever met that had a spitting image puppet, and I feel dead humbled. He just burst out laughing, and there's half the folk about that, what's he talking about? But for folk in my age, spitting image was the satirical programme of the day, and it was puppets, spitting image puppets, and they had the Maggie Thatcher ones, and Neil Kinnock and all that, and like Bobby Robson, and it was just like a weekly show, and it was just brilliant. He just burst out laughing. So the first person I've ever met is a spitting image puppet. And then I think the irony it was, though, I was the only person in the room that wasn't mad in politics, and he sort of clocked to that right away and started talking to me like a normal person. And then his wife, who's American, she's like, this isn't your normal thing, is it, Craig? And I went, no. I says, this is the first sort of heavy political thing I've been at. She's like, so what's your background? I started talking to her. She's a lovely woman. But aye, that was David Owen, spitting image puppet and a lord. 2 birds with 1 stone. Anyway, Norrie found it funny because Norrie's the same age as me. That's it. There's Dan Tag. They used to have the Gaza crying. He had a puppet and it just squirted out water all the time. Anyway.
So, back to the Mara.
I don't know. Tam Bam. No, I know we can't discuss the case. I'm asking of the event in court is still on for next month. I don't know if that's going to do with me because I've kind of.
No, but it was. I'll take this one for you, mate.
All right, well, sorry, got off topic and up that. You probably don't want to. It's a case still can't. It was meant to be today, Tech, but it now is next month because that's the 3rd date that they've set, and the date set is the day that I'll be flying home for holiday, and I don't get home till 9 o'clock at night. So my lawyer's like, it's not a problem. Send me your confirmation showing you've not booked it yesterday. I booked the holiday in February, so it will get moved, and hope his fingers crossed he's going to try and get it brought forward, but so it's not going to put it back either further. I think it's for me to comment on that. But I don't really want to talk about much more in the case, but the reason is that's already public knowledge. The guy for the Free Speech Union, who they've all have declared as well, something I've known for months, but I didn't want to break cover in that. But the Free Speech Union have now said that they're backing me, so that's great having them behind me, because the legal bill could be up to, if it goes to court, £40,000. I couldn't afford that. So very fortunate that as a member they've covered me, and I'll be eternally grateful for them. And I'm going to put out an advert. So in the middle of my videos, I'm going to have a wee 30 seconds, and there'll not be time for it. So that every time I put a video, it'll probably I'll make up the wee advert next week, and I'll be sticking that in all my videos and telling people, go and support the Free Speech Union. Because the only way they can do things like that for me is by the members paying their dues. and also by people making donations. So I'll be hopefully help them get a wee bit back what they've put into me, because they've been fantastic to me. I think it was about, got arrested on the Friday, and by the Wednesday or Thursday, never mind, I didn't speak to them till the Monday. They had went away, looked into the case, saw the video that was part of the case, and had agreed to back me and underwrite my legal bill. And I've got Levy McRae, who are one of the biggest and if not the best lawyers in Glasgow for that type of thing. And the lawyer, he's not been named yet, the guy that's actually my lawyer acting on behalf of McRae, is absolutely fantastic. And I probably would not be able to get a level of legal advice if it wasn't for the Free Speech Union. So big ups to them.
Stevie.
Anyway.
Aye.
So obviously, I was talking earlier on before you came up, because obviously you might have been looking at your STB appearance again. Know what I mean? Because I know you're watching that. What's your plans for in the kind of worst weather when it comes upon? Are you guys going to continue doing what you're doing, or are you going to be taking a break for it?
Fucking no chance. Umbrellas and ponchos. We're the coldest. We're the coldest part of Scotland. Well, mainland Scotland anyway. We'll be there in the snow with umbrellas and them things that one of Craig's fans gave me in London, and ponchos.
How do you know he's one of my fans?
Because you're going to make me tell you yesterday.
No, I'm interested. How did you know the guy was a supporter of the channel if all he did was give you a poncho?
Because it was pissing her rain. This isn't the first guy that said this, right? So we're scarpering for the rain. And guy's like, Stephen. I was like, all right. He's like, oh, here, take us for the kids. We'll watch all the time. I was like, what? He's like, on Craig's channel on YouTube. It's excellent. He's like, here, take us. I was like, fuck. So I know he was one of your fans.
Well, did you get recognised?
He's seen you on the lives and
shit.
You've
Did you hear that?
He
got recognised. He got more recognised after your show than he did STV.
I knew Kev was going to say this.
Yeah, funny you should say that. I'm talking to Basil last week or whatever, and we were talking about YouTube and whatever, and there's a thing he wants to do on YouTube, but it'll not be political. And he said something about the size of my channel. He said, I see you're about 80,000 subscribers now. And I went, aye. He says, well, that's going to be great. I says, aye, but see, if I was English, it'd be 300,000. Because you're Scottish, it's a smaller... Yes, there's English people watch your videos, but my accent's a struggle for most. And he's like, hold on a minute. And he went in, do you know I've got more subscribers on YouTube than STV, Stevie? So even if the game, I swear to God, right, and I've only got about 3 or 5, there's like thousands, it's not even 10,000 of the difference behind BBC Scotland, right? And listen, they've got loads of platforms that have got, hundreds of thousands and all them. I don't, I've got YouTube and that's kind of it, and a Shite TV X account. But it's just nuts when you think about that we'd been doing this for 2 years. It's got more subscribers on YouTube than STV. And nearly the same amount as BBC Scotland. Isn't that bonkers?
Well, I mean, you've gave Stevie a platform, you know what I mean? He's getting recognised everywhere he goes now, do you know what I mean?
See the amount of people that asked for Kev. Shut up. The amount of people that said that spoke, it was crazy. It was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 people. I was like, holy shit. But every one of them said, where's Kev? Is Kev here? I just said that I don't know. I hadn't had time to see him if you see the day, and I checked my phone. But obviously, I knew that you didn't make it do like. But I just said that. So there was guys looking for Kev, even though he's anonymous. Why is your camera still off? You've been outed.
I know, man.
It should be on now.
There's James asking, there's a guy at the top right corner.
Listen, man, everybody to know how much he's changed.
What's your X handle again? Is it far right or something? Right.
No, right wing Brit.
Right wing, but aye. So if you want, you're on X, Gemma, you'll get him on there. But Gemma, I've got bad news. He's already spoken for. And there's a couple of
Oh, we
people
didn't know about this, Craig.
He's actually
live in
changed his
London.
handle now. Do you know seen Stevie's changed his handle? It's changed it to I was on STV.
No. He changed it to I was on Houston, we have a problem.
Fuck's sake.
I'm well known on it, Houston.
That's crazy. When somebody said, the first guy said, it says, it's like, oh, I watch all the time. And I was like, eh? It's like, what? I didn't understand what he was saying. He's like, oh, I'm big Houston's channel. I was like, oh, fuck. It's like, oh, here we go. But it's crazy. It's crazy bumping into people in London that actually watch your channel.
Listen, I'll just answer this first and then I'll tell you what I was going to tell you. Scott's asking the many shall Foxy Scott. I spoke to Foxy for a couple of weeks, but the last time I spoke to him, he was at 90 odd. He can't be far off the 100. So he'll be getting his nice wee plaque for his bookshelf soon when you hit 100,000 on YouTube. So he's flying. He's going to be far off that. But what I found mental about London, mate, and I hate to say these things because sometimes you try to come across as Johnny Big Cigar, and I certainly don't want to be that. But when I walk about Glasgow, it's not unusual for people to recognise me. And the best one was driving down to Etrin. We stopped at a service station halfway down England. And we walked up to the petrol station. This guy's like, you're that guy off YouTube, aren't you, right? If it's raging, right? Because he was famous at that point. Anyway, so you kind of get, and it's weird, right? And see folk ask you for selfies, I get all embarrassed, right? I'm like that. But I'm not like famous. I'm not a Pippa star or a pop star or that. Anyway, it's, but it's very humbling. And when I was walking through the crowds to get to the media pen, every 20 yards there was folk alright big and love the channel and stuff, right? And obviously being in London, the vast majority were English. And it was really pretty weird. I'm like, how did he understand me? So that was pretty bonkers and humbling, and thank you to everybody that took time. I mean, I couldn't guess how many. And the best one was Sean, the guy who said to me as I was walking away for Disabled Pen, Craig, I've been subscribing to you for ages with his sort of North West English accent. And then went on, I said, why are you here today, sir? And he said to me, because I've got 5 weeks to live and I'm going into a hospice in about a week's time and I want to try and do my bit for my children. And I'm listening to this going, did he say that? And there's a bit in the video where I interview him and you see the camera's pointing at him and I've got a tripod. And the next thing, the camera's looking me over there because I just grabbed him and it took about 30 seconds for it to process in my head. So I did say that. And I grabbed him and I went, I'm really sorry, sir, for saying that. Asking you a question that led to that. He's like, don't be sorry about it. It's all right. And he was a fan of the thing, and that was really, really humbling, and he shared his story with me. And I managed to get a hold of him because I was really embarrassed. I had to look at his contact details, and I put a shout out on Twitter. And within a few hours, I had his mobile number and I phoned him. This was Sunday night, and he was going home on the train. He'd ended up in hospital on the Saturday in St Thomas's Hospital, right on the banks of the river. And then he'd got to sell out of hospital on the Sunday, and he was moments away from his house. And I phoned him on the Monday, and I've been in contact with him every day since. What a guy, you know what I mean? Just blow your mind. So that was.
I seen him when he walked past. He walked past us to get. It must have been when he was going to the front, because I don't know. There was so many people, but seemed to hear like an aura when he walked past. Everybody kind of turned and looked at him.
Sean?
Aye, then you seen him just walking right through towards the front, because we didn't want to go too far forward, obviously with the burner, and then when he came back out again, he came out the opposite side, and then seen him walking past us again. I was like, Jesus.
You didn't know who he was? Just a guy in the crowd?
Aye, I'd say when he walked towards the stage the first time, I recognised him, but obviously the hitman barcode in the back of his head.
Aye.
And then obviously I seen your post.
Go and grab a mic, you can tell us what you've been up to. What you're going to be up to tomorrow? Aye, absolute legend, mate. And there's Marston. He's getting it stinking. You're rude. Not saying that word. Not even going to acknowledge your most favourite follower. No, out of order, Ted Denzel. But the big question is, Martian, is Kev changed, mate?
Oh, go, right. Go and just drop this out, man, eh? Christ.
Well, actually, I wrote in the comments earlier on that Craig had his own stewards for tomorrow, right? So I was asked.
No, don't bother saying it.
No, I was asked to look for stewards and maybe try and help look for security guards. Can guys that would volunteer? So I put on Uncensored Patriots, went on, had a quick 5-minute appeal for any helpers, and we got a volunteer to help keep the selfie hunters away from Kev. It's Yvonne for Uncensored Patriots. So she's coming tomorrow, and she's got to be high-vised up, standing by Kev.
Oh man, you really, you're going to need to just drop this out, man, right?
I've got the messages to prove it.
It's not even funny
There's a
anymore.
question for you.
No, because she's not sent me a rat handle.
Right. See, to be honest with you, thing with Alex and Connor, if Connor comes back on, ask him about the stewarding position, because he's got all the high vis and stuff coming tomorrow, and he was kind of...
we did have a bag of high vises. We were going to take them down and chuck them up on stage if he's needed any more.
Aye, please, mate. Just in case if we get a bigger crowd than we think, then we'll maybe need a few honours just to help out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I need a couple at Kev's meet and greet booth.
Do you know what Kev's got? They're wee postcard size things. It's a photo of Kev with a dog, and it's got a white band at the bottom for his autograph. He's got it printed up.
Oh,
Kev,
What, mate?
you know talking? No.
No, but listen, I'll fill you in later.
Everything all right?
No.
No, I've got my phone's here. You can send my WhatsApp, mate.
I will do.
Anyway, it's because I've been slagging him too much. I was only kidding you on, big and all of you to bits. Apart from when you're in the car for 18 hours with me, you're a bit hard to handle. No, Alan, I think he's out at the Winchon tonight. So, what are you looking to get out of tomorrow, Stephen? What's your ambitions about it? To get your speech out the road?
It's a bit nervous, obviously, because it's got to be. Hopefully, it's got to be 20 times the size of what Aberdeen was. But I just want to see Glasgow. I mean, Edinburgh didn't really do as good as what we thought. But I mean, Glasgow is the asylum seeker capital of the UK, if not Europe. We need Glasgow to. Obviously, it's not got to be as big as London, but that's our main point. If Glasgow stands up tomorrow and puts on a show of force, then everything's got to have been worth it. All the little ones up and down the country building up to this big one, and then we can go forward. I mean, we start planning Peterhead 2 in November, so we need to keep it going. Hopefully Glasgow just makes that stand and it gets it right. I mean, I hope that Nicola Sturgeon's on the counters tomorrow. I hope she's there. If they're voting no on that grooming gang inquiry,
she'll be in London.
Well, saying that, Starmer disappeared to Scotland
She'll not be there
on the 13th. So her and John Swinney and Humza Useless will probably disappear to London for the 20th. Oh, if Humza's there, that'll be class. That would make my day.
No, make my day. I'd love to be there.
Oh, so would I.
Oh, Humza, you're a crank.
I'd probably need the free speech union's help after meeting him, though.
Your biggest problem, I think part of your problem with Edinburgh was it's very much a university city. You get the same problem in Glasgow area, very much a university area. And unfortunately, the people coming out of university today aren't the smartest. They've all been brainwashed. I know people think that's a terrible thing to say, but it's true. I mean, the reality check is we've gone through a process of everybody needs to go to university. That hasn't improved the quality of what's coming out of university. It's dropped it. We used to only allow 10% into university. So you get the top 10% went to university and everybody else fought for all the other jobs. Now, we've got everybody thinking they should be fighting for all the top jobs, and they've all got degrees, and some of the degrees, if you look at the titles, you'd sit back and laugh. I guarantee you could get a degree in watching Coronation Street. Seriously.
Yeah, Craig, I'll need to shoot off because...
I don't know what this is about, though. 1320 Declaration of Arbroath. We're dealing with today's problems, Kenny. The Declaration of Arbroath was 700 years ago. And to be honest with you, see the Declaration of Arbroath, see half the people that signed it, go and have a look at what happened to them after they signed the Declaration of Arbroath. They all fell out. Go and look at the names on it and what happened to them after it. And half of them ended up on the other side because they fell out with the people that co-signed it with them. Because that's what Scottish people do. We're mental. Sorry, mate, I got that.
Oh, yeah, I'll need to shoot off. We want to put up some more flags.
Aye, the world can't have enough flags, mate. You get the flags up. Where's the flags going up? Peterhead or Aberdeen?
Peterhead. Like, they did... Suzanne put a video on X this afternoon. That was the guys that put them up on Friday when we were in London. It's a cracking video. You need to watch it. So we're going to put some more up. Get them done. Got some more Union flags.
All right, mate.
So I'll catch you in the morning anyway, okay?
Yeah.
All the best, bud.
See you later, buddy. Safe journey.
Okay.
Anyway, I've got your message here, Kev. Just
Aye. Unbelievable. Oh.
So it's just the 3 years then.
Looks like it, Bobby. What's your chat, Bobby? Here's some of your chat again.
I don't have a lot of chat. I've got very born in my old age and very political. I spend a lot of time reading on some of the stuff that's going on in the world. Like, I'd been getting into the Fabian Society before Craig started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an interesting society. It's crazy how long it's been there. And it's crazy what its aims are, because it actually says we don't want to have countries in the world anymore. We want one world, one world government. And the Labour Party, Tory Party members in it. And the original logo for them was a wool.
That's right.
With a sheepskin over the top of it, which tells you exactly what they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're the wolf in sheep's clothing. You guys won't see us coming. And they were right to a great extent. And it's just
I
one of those things.
I didn't know nothing about this Fabian Society up until a couple of weeks ago. And it was quite funny because it was Juju was holding a space with a lady called Queen Bob. And they're quite clued up on it as well. And they were rhyming off MPs that are part of the society. And then one next night, Craig released a video with that Steve Barrett, and it got me kind of intrigued. And then obviously I was talking to Craig the other day there, and they started driving off who's the vice president of the Fabian Society.
Aye.
And it kind of left me with, I'm not shocked, if I'm being honest. And I don't know if I can say it out loud on these channels, so I'm not going to say it. Do you know what I mean? But I was like, wow. And it just goes to show you how corrupt they act. I mean, I'm no clever enough to understand all this. Do you know what I mean? But I listen to people when they're telling you things, and I try and read into it a wee bit more. But they certainly did they know? Did they know have like a 100-year plan in order to change everything? But obviously it's ran over. So what we can do is
where you might get mixed up there, Kev, is the book 1984 was written by Wells as a warning of what he thought they would have came in 100 years, because they were formed in 1884, and that's why he picked 1994. And it was basically a look what they'll achieve in 100 years if they get what they want. So that was where the 100 years is maybe come into it.
The thing you got to remember, George Orwell was a firm socialist. He believed in socialist principles, but he recognised the Fabian Society for what it was, communist, not the same thing. And that's a problem most of the Scots I've met in my life have had. They think that being a socialist is just like being a communist, and it's the same thing, and it's not even close. Communism's closer to Nazism than anything else, because the two of them are all about, we want total control. We'll decide what you can do, we'll decide when you can do it, and we'll decide how you can do it. They want total control, and capitalism isn't the be all and end all. It's not the greatest system in the world, but it's better than communism. And it's silly, simple ideas that we sometimes have to talk to people about. If you've got a production line of 10 men under communism, and from 1 to 10, that's the number of widgets they actually make in an hour. 1, 2, 3, up to 10. You then got to go, well, under communism, it's all, everybody gets paid the same. Well, why would a man that can make 10 and sweat blood to do it bother doing that when he can make one and make the same money as a lazy bugger at the other end? So communism tends to take the production level down the way. Capitalism puts people in a position where I'm paying you all this, and if you can produce 5, I'll pay you that rate. But if you can produce 10, I'll double the money you're getting. Gives you the opportunity to try and make that change. And people get annoyed because they say, oh, there's all these big millionaires and that making all this money, and it's kind of, well, no, they make the money because they risk the money, build the factories.
That's right. If you don't have somebody to put up the risk, then if the person that takes on the risk doesn't get the reward or the possibility of the reward, then nobody would take the risk.
Correct.
And then
the companies, the jobs,
the workers. And as I was talking to a guy, Sean, who's I think he called himself a moderate socialist. I'm sure that's the terminology he uses. A nice guy. And I was on his podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we're at it for about 2 hours. And we were talking a lot about he hates billionaires, right? I said, Sean, see if you don't have any billionaires. Because he's like, you don't need billionaires. I said, well, you kind of do. Because if you've got £2,000 in the bank, and I say to you, see if you put £1,900 into this thing, this business, it could, make a lot of people like money. You can't do it because you can't put everything you've got in. So you need to find somebody that's got maybe 100 grand to put 10 grand in. And if you've got something that you need £1 million for, you probably need somebody with hundreds of millions of quid to put into that investment, or you wouldn't have anybody to do it. So when we get to the really serious things where you need hundreds of millions of pounds, if you don't have any billionaires, how do you get the investment? And that's kind of the way I look at it. So there is an argument, are billionaires putting enough money back in? Well, yeah, a lot of them do, and a lot of them won't, because there'll be miserable type ones and there'll be really good philanthropist ones that put in lots of money into things.
If you take Elon Musk as an example, people sit there, and I've heard, especially some Americans, complaining that he doesn't pay back enough. And you sit and you go, you've got SpaceX, you get Tesla. They wouldn't exist without him. Without him, his money, his drive, his energy, and his brain power, these things wouldn't exist. And then the American people would be in a lot worse place, because you'd be saying that's multiple tens of thousands of jobs, good paying jobs, that wouldn't exist in America.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody that wants it free. Can I not have it free? No, you can't have it free. Why no? Because nobody really gets it free. Nothing in this world's free. As we're now finding out, and it's why I've always preferred the American concept of democracy better than ours, because they understand freedom is not free. You got to fight to keep it. If you want to keep your freedom, you got to fight for it. And we've forgotten that. We went through the Second World War, fought off the Jerrys, defeated Nazism, cost us an awful lot, and we got to the, well, that'll not happen again. And what we weren't looking for was the sneaky bastards coming in as fifth columnists through the back door, taking over the country behind our back. And we didn't realise it was our own government that was doing it. I mean, Starmer. I mean, big man at the Fabian Society, always has been. He appoints people into his parliament that are members of the Fabian Society. He puts people in the Fabian Society at the top of the tree. He's not interested in us. He couldn't give a monkeys about us. I mean, how he could even the concept of taking Shabana Mahmood and putting her in the position he put her in. She's the one that's supposed to be, I'll make sure that you don't have these migrants coming in anymore. And it's kind of, you're the very one that will be. I did see it. Aye.
Do you know what I mean? There's a woman that's went and done a journey that I've done, and that was going to Lesbos. But I went to identify what was going on. She went, in her words, assist those arriving.
Correct.
And she's now in charge of the Home Office, which looks after, amongst other things, borders and other immigration policies.
Aye. And we all know that she's not exactly pro non-Muslims. She's the other way around. Now, yeah, I'm not saying that.
All the pro-Pali marches and all sorts.
Aye. And I was going to say, I'm not saying that because she looks like a Muslim. I was going to say that simply because you look at the march she's at and the things she said. She hates Britain. She hates British Christians. She doesn't want British Christians to succeed. She doesn't want them to exist. She wants them out the way.
It's done something weird. And I kind of, see if I went to a country as a foreigner or as a descendant of foreigners and they allowed me to be a politician, I would respect their traditions and their standards. And that's why I don't understand that you can put your hand and swear in any book you want when you become an MP or an MSP. I kind of think, well, why? I can understand somebody didn't want to put their hand in a book if you were an atheist.
You're being like most of us, you're being very naive and you're making assumptions. You're assuming that their culture is at least the same as ours, or maybe even better. You're not making the assumption, no, their culture is horrible and devious and disgusting and we don't want it here. Because that's not a British thing to say. You're not allowed to say that as a Brit. We never were allowed to say that. But if you look at that particular religion, it's full of hate and it's full of let's kill the Jews and let's kill the Christians. Full of it. And when you look at any country in the world that's had a large Muslim influx, it's always been taken over by the Muslims and the local populations disappeared. Similarly to the way that because it's it tends to be the Islamists don't like capitalism. the communists don't like capitalism, so they end up becoming bedfellows in the fight against capitalism, which is why the Labour Party isn't so much in bed with them. And then you get to the stage where you say, well, have you looked at history? Go and look at Iran. Iran, when the Shah of Iran got taken out and tossed out the country, that was a coalition of Islamists and Marxists. And after they took him out, and they went out, we had people that weren't allowed to go in, our reporters weren't allowed to go in and check what was going on in the country. But about 3 months after that settled down, people went to go and talk to find out what was going on. They could find all the Islamic leaders to talk to about what was going on in the country and how you're getting on with it, and is it running well? And where's the Marxists that you were with? Oh, they've gone. What do you mean they've gone? They can't all have gone. They fought with you to get this country, and oh no, they've gone. What do you mean they've gone? I'll give you a guess where they've gone. I'm going to sleep with the fishes out in the desert.
Walked out a window.
Because, I mean, I still try not to laugh. I showed somebody that I knew when I was working down in England who was very much in the LGBTQ arena and was pro-Palestine. So I actually got video out of Palestine of what happens to LGBT people in Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that I was a terrible person for showing them images of people being stoned to death, thrown off atop buildings and hung off lampposts. And I said, but that's what they do to the LGBT community. They don't like you. They hate you. Mm-hmm. They make extreme Christians look moderate. Well, that's the reality check. They do. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have you heard of Christian people going out and hanging or stoning people?
Not for a lot, not for like centuries, maybe even
centuries. Yeah. But there is a reason for that, and that's because their book can't be changed. Their Bible, their Quran's not allowed to be changed.
It can be taken literally.
It can also be taken literally, but they're not allowed to change it. And because they're not allowed to change it, it's still a 7th century book. Mm-hmm. And it can't develop with the rest of the world around it. So whenever they take over a country, it doesn't get better. It takes a few steps back. Because you've got to live by 7th century laws. Yeah. I mean, we in the West have forgotten so much that it's embarrassing. If you go and look at maps
it can't stop you having successful countries though. Because if you look at Dubai's of the world and Saudi, Qatar, etc.
What do you think? Do you think they're Muslim countries? They'll not let them in.
Well, they are Muslim countries because I've been to it, right?
You go Muslim and look laws. At the way those countries are run, and the Muslims don't have control.
Who controls them?
The sheikhs will control them. And they're not all necessarily Muslims. They're mainly businessmen. Very westernized businessmen.
Yeah. That's a good point as well. They are right for slavery.
Very true.
When I went to Dubai was that you did when you were in bars and shops and stuff, nobody that served you was from Dubai.
Of course not.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, what do people in Dubai do? The folk born and bred in Dubai. They don't work in shops and they don't work in hotels. They don't work in restaurants. It's all migrant workers. Which I thought was really bizarre.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit like the history of Africa. People sit there and they talk about apartheid with the whites over there. But what most people didn't understand was that in Africa, they already had their own form of apartheid because before the Browns, like the Indians, and the whites went over there, in that country, they basically had a view that if you were truly black, as in sub-Saharan African black, as in ebony black, you were scum, you were horrible, you were filth, You couldn't marry into the families. They didn't want to be friends with you. They wouldn't want to go out and drink and eat with you. That was it. You were just scum. And that's how the Browns treated them.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
That's why we look at some of the things.
Sorry, mate, can you go?
I was going to say, that's why when you look at some of the things that have happened in history, some of the worst cases of pogroms, and I'm not saying we're innocent because we've done some bad ones, but if you look at what the Houthis and the Tutsis and Houthis and all those guys, when they were all killing each other en masse, horrific. But that was acceptable.
All done it. Yeah. I just find it weird that, listen, people dying in a war is not nice, right? Let's just make that perfectly clear. Regardless of where in the world the war is, it's just not nice, but it's a byproduct of war. It does happen, and it's not nice. But I kind of can't get in my head why the media only concentrating two about the whole world, and that is Gaza and Ukraine. And Ukraine's even took a backseat since Gaza was kicked off. And you go, but there's more people dying in other countries. More people dying in other
Somalia.
countries. And then what I hate getting done is, I hate, like, you're forced to pick a side. You know, you can't go, well, I kind of just wish there was no war. And you have got to be accepting whatever the media drive as the side that we've got to back. And it makes me, I just go, what? And there's another thing that's happening now, right? And it really, I actually laugh at it because the people pushing it are actually contradicted. They will contradict themselves. And let me explain. There's this push for the world to accept Palestine as a state, right? Now, I need to be honest with you. I don't think the price of my car payment would change, or my council tax, or the price of petrol would change in my life. Right? It kind of wouldn't affect anything if Palestine's a state or not, right? So,
yeah,
kind of like, right, okay, I don't really know what difference it makes to world affairs, right? The one thing I do know is the United Nations have got a department which is the most funded department in the whole United Nations called the UNHCR, which looks after refugees all over the world, apart from one place, and that's Palestine. And they've got their own thing called the UNRWA, which looks after refugees only in Palestine, and they're heavily funded as well. And they're quite a dark thing that, you know, there's suggestions that there's no suggestions, it's a factual, there was loads of their workers were
selling children into sexual slavery.
Well, that's another thing, but they're involved in the attacks in Israel, okay? There's claims that they are funneling money to Hamas. There's claims that their education is a bit ridiculous and is just a production line for future Hamas soldiers. So they're quite horrific. But here's the kicker, right? And that's the one Hamza likes then. He gives a lot of money, or has gave a lot, and actually overturned a government decision to give money to UNICEF. And he decided off his own back, no, we're giving it to UNRWA. So they're his kind of favourite charity of choice. And the fact that after him overturning it, within 48 hours, his mother-in-law get out of Gaza is just purely coincidental, obviously. So, right, but here's a kicker. Because as soon as it went, we need to demand that they become a state, I thought, well, what is a state? And a state's a number of things, but one of the things that makes it a state is you have your own peoples. So the minute they get made a state, then they have their own people, therefore they don't have any refugees or asylum seekers, and therefore, in that precise moment, all the Western nations that give billions every year to UNRWA can stop. Because there are no refugees.
You hope so.
Well, how can you do it? How can you justify it? If you're a state, you don't have the people of your peoples, therefore no longer refugees. And you would argue, I was like, well, they're not refugees just now because they're not displaced from anywhere. If they claim that Palestine, because there's the other kicker, if they claim that the people in Palestine are the true Palestinians and the true owners or inhabitants of that land, then how can they be refugees? And that's a bit of a contradiction as well. But then if they become a state, you can't even have a refugee status, so you can't, none of your people are refugees. So why would you even be millions?
An even bigger contradiction is the fact that they say that historically that land's Palestinian land because the Palestinians have always lived there. And Muslims have always lived there. But then you go and look
Muslims
at...
have always existed.
But then you go and look at the Islamic teachings, and they tell you that when Muhammad first went to meet Allah and came back and told the people, it was in the year 633. So prior to the year 633, Islam didn't exist. So there's no way they can say we've got a historical claim on this.
Right, I'm going to do a wee quiz with you, Bobby, and this is because I don't know the answers, right? Was the story of Moses New Testament or Old Testament?
Oh God, need to think about that one. That would have been Old Testament.
So that means it's older than 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Now, regardless of whether the story's true or untrue, it was written at that time over 2,000 years ago, right?
Yep.
So we don't even need to get into a debate about, did they part the Red Sea and all that stuff. That's just, it doesn't matter, right? The story was written over 2,000 years ago. And who did he take from Egypt? Who did he lead out of Egypt?
The Israelites.
The Israelites. Okay? Mm-hmm. But I'm told that they were never in that area. But we know that they were there at least 2,000 years ago, if not more, right?
And more, there's history of 3,000 years old from there.
Right. And in that area, that today's modern Israel, where do you think the name Judea came from?
Probably from the Jews.
And the name Jerusalem?
Yeah.
But I'm going to believe that these people are somehow taking this land and never were there before 1948. When was the Balfour Agreement? Whenever that was, right? So you go, well, that can't be true either. That's got to be bollocks. Somebody's asking speakers tomorrow. I think there's 8, maybe 9. And you go, it doesn't make sense. But it's this gaslighting. And I'll tell you what happens, right?
Who came up with the name Palestine?
The Romans. And
Correct.
It was a slur to the people of that area.
Of Israel, because they can't say the letter F.
And it's Philistine, right?
Palestine is how you're meant to pronounce it.
Yeah, but they said Philistines. That's where the name came from. Now, here's a kicker, right? Lost my train of thought. Somebody just wrote something absolutely mental in the comments and gave me a chortle. Jesus was born where? He was from Nazareth, he was born in Bethlehem, right? Both in modern day Israel, and he was a Jew.
Yep.
But we have to believe that they've got no call over that land at all. And it's a crazy thing. Now again, this is me no picking sides. This is me saying, well, the narrative I'm getting told to accept is this. And I think, well, my default is, well, let's not do that. You don't need to be back in Israel to say you're not going to support Palestine, by the way. That's something that's lost in today's world. And what was I going to say there about the whole thing?
One of the crazy. Carry on.
Right. So that you hear this chant, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And that's based on the mandate, the British mandate for Palestine, right? There's 17% of that, if you look at that landmass that was called the mandate, right? There's only 17% of that is actually Israel.
Yeah.
Because the map was to that shape, the shape of Israel. That's not what the mandate was. It was also what they called Transjordan, which was to the other side of the river, further away than Jordan, right? And that's all today's modern day Jordan. So if your point of reference is that mandate, right, and you want, that's what we were promised, that should be Palestine, right? Let's just say that's going to happen. Then the vast majority of the land you need to take is off Jordan, because that was all part of the Palestine mandate. But you never see anybody calling for the destruction of Jordan, or for Jordan to give up any land.
Because the Jordan's no full of Jews. It's that simple. Jordan's no full of Jews. Because it's this classic thing. We hear them all talking about the Palestinians have actually run the Palestinian area on their own. The Jews backed off and left them with their own government for 20 odd years, or 20 years. And the curious thing for me with that is, we keep hearing people talking about why won't the Jews let all the Palestinians migrate back into the Jewish state whilst they rebuild the land? Well, I can't trust them.
Right.
And the other question then is,
Wires is saying, hold on a second, mate, we need to get back on track and just sort out our country and override Palestine. No problem, mate. This is a call-in show. You're on YouTube. If you go into the description, there's a link there to the studio. Click on it, come in here. The floor's yours, buddy. See what the thing is. Hamza Yousaf stuff and his in-laws. They're called the Al-Naklas, right? And what's that all about? Where's that name come from? So I spoke to somebody who's a specialist in the area. You know, they live there, right? And I was like, tell me what this is about. And there's basically 5 clans or families that run what is Gaza, right? And every one of them, you can, it's like the old Scottish Mac, the L and the Al is the same. So it's from, right? And all the surnames are from the area of Egypt. Go with the surnames, they're actually Egypt. So they're no for there. Because if they were for there, they wouldn't be called Al-Nakla, for example, right? But the thing that I found a bit strange about the whole thing was there's a land border between Gaza and Egypt, and the minute that place erupted, the Egyptians shut the gate,
shut the border. Of course they did.
Built the fence higher, and only let non-Palestinians come out. Eventually, like a few weeks later, I thought, well, that's bloody weird. And then you figure,
not if you look at the history of the areas around there. Every time the Palestinians stroke Muslims were given free range to come into these countries, they tried to take them over. So they don't want them. They see them as an enemy state coming in to attack them.
Well,
and you know,
I'm going to need to go because I know it's an early night and I'm going to bed because I've had quite an early start this morning for something that was a complete waste of time. It was quite a stressful day for me today because of where I had to go, and something that's been playing in my mind since I was arrested since May. It's still not got any conclusion. So I'm absolutely physically and mentally shattered, and I'll get a big day tomorrow up in Scotland.
Well, your laptop's still running well for you when you're doing this.
What do you mean?
Your laptop when you're doing this show, it's running better than it used to.
Well, the Wi-Fi's sorted now. I'll get new Wi-Fi. I could probably see what the only time I get a snag, see when I'm like sharing like Facebook pages and stuff, it gets a bit, but it's nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is almost running at a speed of a gig, up and down speed, which is when the old Wi-Fi was 70 up.
Okay, you'll be setting up your own OnlyFans channel next.
Oh, there you go, one. Oh, somebody's just.
Well, you haven't released that page to us.
No, it's too dear for you, mate. Just trying to do a wee speed test now, but it was running about 950 up, 950 down earlier on before I came on. I do a wee speed test now. See, my ears went, so somebody's come into the studio. But 2 minutes and be back. I'm not even looking at the page now. I'm looking at that speed.
Well, maybe it's J7.
Oh, maybe it is. Oh no, it's no. Johnny, how are you?
Okay, I think I need to get my headphones in case we get feedback.
No, it's good as a bell.
No, we're fine. But you want me to be quick, Johnny, because I'm going to end up falling asleep in the chair.
Hello. Hello.
The floor's yours, Johnny.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Johnny, yes, can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I just want to say
We're waiting for you, Johnny. It's your floor.
okay. Can you hear it echo?
Nope.
It's clear.
Are you having problems, Johnny, hearing us?
I think we're okay. I just want to say all the things. I just wonder if we should be wondering about that when we've got so many problems here in the UK.
Yeah.
Most of our problems in the UK are actually related to the influx of migrants, and most of those migrants tend to be Muslim. And they're bringing their culture and their beliefs here. And we want to be the nice people who think culture can't be that bad. Be very careful. Their culture is very different from ours. They believe in hanging and killing gays and lesbians. We don't, they do. So I understand where you're coming from when you say that, Johnny, but there's a huge link of the two. And it's very easy to go, oh, sounds very, very nasty and racist to talk like that. I got no problem with Muslims coming over here as long as you understand no Sharia law, you obey the laws of this country, and that's an end of it. And anybody that tries to do any terrorist crap, out.
I don't think I could ever solve the problems in the Middle East, Johnny, to be honest with you, but it is topical. And the conversation went there, and I was just giving my opinions on why I kind of don't accept the narrative of what, you know, we've got to pick a side, and that side's got to be Palestine or you're a really bad person. And I kind of just think that's a thing that's not unique to the Palestine question in our life. You know, there's lots of things where you must pick a side, and you must, you know, you've got to be an extreme. And the media and the establishment only accept one side of the argument. And if you're not on the same side as them, even if you're neutral, you're seen as the opposition, you're seen as far right, you're seen as a bad person, and all the isms and phobias that you can get flung at you. And it's just ridiculous. And you know what's really cemented this for me? And here's something that a lot of people will consider crazy when they hear it the first time. I don't believe for a minute Charlie Kirk was killed for what he said. I believe Charlie Kirk was killed because of the perception of what he said. And that's because of the society we're in, where everybody's got to be totally extreme. Everybody's got to get put in a box over here. And even although he was actually very middle of the road in a lot of things, that wasn't the perception of him. And that guy's now dead because of it. And that does my heart in as well.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it should be dead for expression and opinion, even if it's a weak one or a bit more powerful. That's not a reason to kill somebody, is it?
Depends on your viewpoint. The people on the left believe that that's acceptable.
A lot of them have, and some of I saw a big black American guy on a show the other night. He was brilliant. He said, you know, Charlie Kirk, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I agreed with some of the things he said. He went, I'll tell you what's definite is, see when he got murdered, there was no riots, there was no looting, there was nobody getting called for other people to get killed.
Yeah, but he wasn't a black criminal.
When it's the other way around.
It wasn't George Floyd.
I'm trying to... Saying here, there's somebody in the studio called Greenlight, and it says they will need to connect their mic or cam before you can add them into the stream. So I can't click the add you to the stream. Oh, there we're going. Right, Greenlight, floor's yours.
Oh, hi, Craig. I thought
Hello.
I'd just be a female on the tonight.
I'm delighted.
Add some female
because we normally get at least one, and I thought we were going to end tonight without any. So you've saved the stats. Thank you very much.
Okay. So what were you chatting about? Something about Palestine or Israel? I missed the beginning of it.
Light, so yeah, we've been at it for 2 hours and 25 minutes. We've had lots and lots of stuff we've been chatting about.
Oh, I missed it.
What would you like to chat about?
Well,
that's where the
Craig, I just watched your other video from, I think it was yesterday. It was about how Axel Rudakabana did not have any blood on him on the arrest footage.
Can I just clarify what you've just said there? The man arrested had no blood on him.
Yeah.
Because that could have, or it could be, no, again, I can't even say that.
I mean, yeah.
Because what I think might have happened is that wasn't him being arrested. Right? I'm not saying Rudakabana wasn't arrested. I'm not saying Rudakabana didn't have blood on him. A couple of things I pointed out in the video. The boy's bent over, so you kind of difficult to see the height of him. But if you look where his hips are in relation to the coppers, it looked as if his hips were higher, which means when he stands up, he's probably going to be higher. But Rudakabana, although you can't find his height in the internet, he is described as a slight boy who is smaller than you would expect for his age. I thought, well, that boy's filled up. And the other thing, you've never seen his face because he had him in a headlock. And his face was facing the cop's arms. So you never seen whoever that was face. But it could be Rudakabana. If it is Rudakabana, he stabbed at least 290.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a drop of blood. You'd think if apparently 290 stabs, and if that, even just from watching, was it CSI? I never really watched it, but was it Dexter or whatever, the blood splat? He would have, when you're going in and out, I mean, obviously I haven't done stabbing before, but if you're going in and out, 290 times, you are going to have it all over you. You're going to it's going to be dripping off of you. Unless he's got an original technique of how to. But it's shocking, that video. Apparently the mugshot that was released is not that was from previously, other arrests or something. So he could be a lot older in the arrest, you know what I mean? And when he's in the cab, he does look tall. If you get, because I'm small, right, and I always know, when I go into a car, I feel small in the car. So from my point of view, I'm I think he is tall. But because when you see him walk into the bus stop as well, he kind of does look. That's maybe just my perception because I'm small, but but it was interesting. Not one bit of blood on him.
Aye, and see if you're thinking of it, it's equally as horrific, and I'm sorry for maybe putting these memories and visions back in people's heads. But remember the guy, and there was two of them that killed Lee Rigby, right? And you saw the photograph of the bus stop, and he was just covered. Right? And that was one person. These people stabbed at least, there was 3 murder charges and I think 10 attempted murders. So that's at least 13 of them. And the way I got the number of 290 plus was on the court notes. Some of the victims were described with an amount of stab wounds, and others were just described as having horrific injuries. So you can't tell the exact, but it's at least 296 plus, right? Now, I don't know, I mean, and over such a short period of time, that's a lot. You know, the blood squirts when you have somebody's blood, right? And the other thing is, there must be about 6 coppers that are in contact with them in that van. They'd be, you know, they would have been covered. And there's a few people sent me messages that don't want to do things publicly, or some things publicly, who worked in similar situations, and they're like, you would arrest them in the scene, and you would get them held down. You would then try and either protect the clothing, or the cops would have on that took him into the van, you know, the white paper suits, or you would try and get him into some sort of way of protecting the evidence, because that's all crucial. That there was just so much, it was bizarre. And, you know, to think, well, that, you know, there was no Rudy Cabana and that whole thing was a myth, that's quite a scary thought, right? I'm not going down that road. So I think, well, what could happen? Well, what could have happened is the genuine footage might have been too horrific. But the other thing is, I think, well, the police in America tend to put out the video cam footage and make it public. We don't tend to do that in the UK. So why did we put it out? Another thing, the most local large outlet in that area would be the Liverpool Echo, right? Now, I got the footage from the Manchester Evening News website, YouTube channel. But the Echo, Liverpool Echo, put that out in February, and it only had 3,000 hits. My video got 3,000 hits in the space of the first 2 hours. And you think, I'm quite, you know, keep up to date with the news, and I never knew this video that was supposedly put out in February even existed until last week.
Well, I'll tell you something though, right? What I find odd is, and I was all like everybody else on my phone all the time, but I didn't even hear about the Southport killings until this year. I mean, maybe that's just me, like that I went off chart, but like I didn't even hear about it until this year.
Have you been at the moon?
I know. That's why I was like so surprised. I was like, how come? I mean, I was on Instagram, Facebook, everything, and like what? Nothing. Not even anybody said to me. I'm in Edinburgh. I don't know if did we have a blackout or what?
You've had a Mandela moment in reverse, or we're all having a Mandela moment, and you're the only person that knows the truth.
That's mental, eh?
That's bonkers. Have you been taking narcotics at any level?
I was though. I was smoking a lot of weed, I have to say. And I was. That's probably what it is. I was just smoking weed and playing PlayStation a lot. But that's crazy.
It's I think it's bonkers that that video
went. What I found weird as well is there's a wee bit of footage when I've not read the court transcriptions or anything, right? But see, when he actually takes a taxi there, right? And then the taxi guy goes, cash or card, mate. And then he just gets out the cab and walks straight away. But the cab driver, what happens to the rest of that footage? Because the cab driver's he's just walked out, kind of calmly, slammed the door shut, walked away. Not ran away. Yeah. So if I was a cab driver and I'm still watching this guy go into this dance studio, I'd have been like, you know what? I think I'll just go and say, mate, you've got to pay this cab. I would have gone after him. Mm-hmm. So did you read the court transcriptions?
No, I Googled to get the number. I got an AI to go and read them because I couldn't be bothered reading them all myself.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what happened? Why did that? It was just odd that the cab driver and that the footage just cuts off there, when he gets out, and but the cab's still watching him.
Mm-hmm. Aye, because the cabs, the footage you see of him going into the dance studio door, that's for the windscreen CCTV of the cab as well.
Aye,
so he's obviously come up to the door and he's just walked in. So
but you don't think it's weird how the cab driver doesn't can he go after him?
Maybe he did.
But then
no, thing is,
it's a very peculiar though.
The way they trade in the state is you can't get out it. You would need to come past them at one point to get back out. Because that's kind of where the taxi is. That's kind of where the cops putting them in the back of a van a bit of time later.
But I just thought that's so. Cheers for showing that video, because that was kind of more mind-blowing. But Johnny, have you not had any? Have you not got like mega illegal immigrants around you? Are you not kind of seeing what's happening in society? I don't think you heard me.
Green light. Can I just say, I think Craig's iPad chargy thing for his puffy things gone out, so he's not communicating.
Aye.
I was just going to say, well, I think you were talking about the whole immigration thing earlier. I've got an HMO above me.
Above you? God, that's a
I'm in a like a block of it's 4 up, a block of 8, 4 up each side. I'm on the ground. So I've got a 1-bedroom flat, and all the other flats are 2 bedrooms. It's just the way it's built. And I've got a 2-bedroom above me, and on my CCTV, I've got it all there. At one point, I counted 9, including I think as a 2-year-old child in a 2-bedroom flat. And so I don't know what's been happening recently, but I know I kind of put complaints out, and they were all ignored. And I was just freaking out, man. I was like, what the heck's going on here? Because it was just constant traffic in and out. And I'm like, like if they're like claiming universal credit, it flags if there's more than like, it's a 2-bedroom flat, it would flag, if like say there was like 5 or 6 people, 9 people claiming universal credit from one flat, it would flag. So I'm still kind of like, I'm still kind of wondering how, because at one point they were all taking taxis here, there, and everywhere. I don't know where they were going like, but anyway, so at one point, something happened. I don't know what, but then I got on my CCTV. 2 left with suitcases into a taxi. Then later, another one. And then that next day, a police officer in plain clothes went to their flat. And then so ever since then, there was the day after that. So we're talking, what day is this? Friday. I think Wednesday, somebody went out. It was like an emergency flit as well. Went into a taxi. And then yesterday, somebody went into a taxi and left. I've lost count, actually, how many have come out of that flat. I seriously have. But their direct neighbour thought she saw 10. And I thought, nah. But after counting it, the most I counted was 9. And what was weird is that time, before the police officer arrived, that was the day before the police officer arrived, 3 flitted. And then I'm not joking, 5 minutes after the police officer left, literally 5 minutes later, 2 more came back in. It's Raj. And I think it's because in Scotland, they've all come up to Scotland. Did you say that in Glasgow as well?
No, I worked in Edinburgh for a while.
Right, aye.
That's salt and sauce. These are bonkers. Ken.
Salt and sauce, right? Salt and vinegar. No, Raj, salt and sauce. Bye.
Ken, Raj, you want salt and sauce, Ken?
Ken, what I mean?
There you go.
That's
Scottish veteran. How you doing, pal?
Pablo's the plot with what's going on in the country.
We'll be gone soon.
You must be tired, Craig. 2.5 hours, mate.
Shattered. I was up early this morning. I was at court this morning, and then that was quite a crazy concept. And so I've been like, I'm emotionally, physically, mentally just bumped out.
A good sleep
tomorrow with the protest in Glasgow, so I'm going to need to go soon.
Right.
And,
what's it like, with all these counter protesters, man? What has happened to the world, What has happened? Well, Britain, man, it's just
It's almost like they're being paid to counter-protest. Somebody's backing them.
They are being paid.
Could be some charity.
They are being
paid. Where did Denzel come back for?
I've just been sitting listening.
He's just been sitting quietly listening.
I didn't sit and interrupt all the time. It's your show, and other people come up to chat. But they do get tied.
Look at that. Hold on, Kev. Have a look at his comment and gonna sort your pal out.
No, I call them the balloon brigade. You call them the goon platoon.
Aye.
It is goons like. Oh my god.
I was listening to Greenlight there talking about that HMO. Are you on X at all, Greenlight?
No, no.
Right, okay.
I'm trying to just stay off social media, to be honest. It's absolutely done my head in. Like, I'm actually just giving it a break. I used to be on X, but I've deleted it. I've just took this. So what? Sorry. So what was going on in X?
No, the reason I was asking was I go out and check hotels and that people tell me about, and I've been through to Edinburgh a couple of times, and I've noticed a couple of disturbing things through there too, and I would have been quite happy to nip through and document that building that's getting used as an HMO and let people know where it is.
No, it's council housing.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, I can't believe what's going on. Nine people I counted at one point, including a small child. And so what? It's just a 2-bedroom flat. So I just like I complained to the housing association. She then said to me, what was it? They can't do anything about it. You have to phone the police. And I'm like, what? I'm telling you, you're the housing association. So and then I did an email to social services, and I got nothing back. And then they said to me, "Oh, you're through to the council complaints." And I'm like, "I've just emailed you," but I think that's how the police officer finally came out, because I did actually put it on an email to complaints about and my concerns about this child, but they clearly don't care.
One of the things I've been finding in Edinburgh Council, or Edinburgh in general, is that they're actually housing illegal migrants in with actual homeless natives.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, one, they don't need to advertise on your doorstep where they've been housed, and two, it's going to prevent people from going to these places and protesting against them. Because any hotel that is fully illegal migrants, that people are turning up en masse to protest against it. So Edinburgh's playing a bit of a blinder or being sneaky about what they're doing.
Well, do you know as well, if you go on the Edinburgh Edinx, like the council housing website to apply for council housing, if you go on the main site, and I even checked Glasgow's got the same. They've got on their main page like a crisis notice saying, basically what it's saying, right, is that it's out of stock, and there is no housing being advertised now because of the crisis. It is absolutely insane, and I think it is because of SNP made an act, and was it 2017 that nobody would be homeless? And so here we've got Edinburgh, or all the people who have come off the boats, have caught on to this, they've come up to Scotland, and they've just been handed housing.
Sam's telling me to go to bed.
Aye. Well, anyway, it's been nice chatting. Nice chatting.
You too, Greenlight, and I'm glad you came on, because that kept the first night we ever had one. The very first person to come in the room was a Scottish girl, and then we were through a load, and then it went off for a month without a single woman coming up.
I've never seen a woman on yet, so I thought. But I've been always wanting to chat, because it's kind of interesting. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go as well, actually. So.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to round this up, folks. Okay, so thanks very much, everybody, for jumping on. It's called the call-in show, and it was kind of bloody lovely, and I'd be stuck with Denzel if it was no for you all coming in. So thanks very much.
You say that like it's a bad thing, T.
Hard work, mate.
Good luck with the protest thing tomorrow, Craig. Thanks for your videos.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Okay,
Good night,
night then, green light.
Good night, everybody.
I'll go away as well. Night,
Yeah,
Johnny.
Johnny.
Night, guys.
Night,
Good
Denzel.
Right,
Night, Craig.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers.
All right.
Right. So
Leave you in
I'll finish
peace.
up.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much. So everybody that's been on, where am I going? There's Johnny. Johnny's getting everybody that has been on, come up the call. Thank you very much. Everybody that's been watching and listening, I think we're over 3,000 again tonight. A quieter one. I don't think I've ever done one on a Friday night before. Midweek ones tend to be watched more, but we're still got over 3,000 between Twitter and YouTube. The comments have been great as normal, and these are starting to be communities in there and slagging each other and getting right in about it, which is good to see. And we've seen more and more names that are recognised through all the different shows. So thanks very much to everybody for tuning in. However, the most important thing, unless you're the type of person that's going to go and counter protest, a protest in Glasgow tomorrow, which includes people from child protection teams, a woman coming up to speak about her daughter's suicide after being a victim of grooming gangs, unless you're coming, there's a speaker there that's a preacher. We've got an asylum seeker coming to stage to join us because they have the same concerns about fake asylum as we have, coming all the way from Manchester. We've got a speaker coming from London who's been all over the Epping protests to talk about that. So unless you're the type of person that actually is going to take to the streets of Glasgow tomorrow to counter protest that and them, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye.